Merry Christmas, Matthew Cox. Everyone's favorite elf on the shelf is back.
He's been
Last time you were in here was right after Trump got almost assassinated.
Oh, that's right.
And now we're back, and he is the president-elect. So first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for your loss. Your girl Kamala lost. I know you're upset about that.
That's funny.
How you getting through it?
I'm okay.
We got the fire going. We got the Christmas tree. We got our Santa hats on.
Good time.
It feels like Christmas. It's like 60 degrees outside right now in Florida.
It is. It's nice. It's hot in here.
It is a little bit hot. Yeah, it's on 77. We can turn it down a little bit. It is kind of warm.
77.
And these beautiful Starbucks drinks you got us the Christmas Starbucks drinks to enjoy.
It had nothing to do with it.
Look at that. It feels good to drink Starbucks, especially after Luigi went out and blew them up for their Christmas ad campaign. You see how Luigi went to Starbucks before he whacked the United Health CEO?
Yeah.
Free advertising.
And all the McDonald's photos.
Tim Dillon said, "No one goes to Dunkin' Donuts before you off a CEO. You go to Dunkin' Donuts after you bury the body. You go to Starbucks first."
Yeah,
they're gonna get a great drink.
They're gonna get a lot of material out of this.
Out of Luigi.
Yeah. He's already got tons of money on his. People are sending him money for like GoFundMe or something. He's got a ton of money for his. He's going to be all right.
I saw an interview. I saw this wild interview on TV. It wasn't on TV. It was on Twitter, but it was like from TV, where the reporter was standing outside of the jailhouse, and all the inmates were like yelling at him.
I saw that.
They're like, does Luigi have a TV in his cell? No. And that dude Jesse Waters was like, Luigi better watch out in prison. I'm sure that CEO had a lot of connections in that prison. I'm like, come on. How out of touch are you? You think the inmates are really going to be like supporting the United Health CEO? Maybe if you're in like Coleman, the Coleman Low with all the white collar criminals, but not in a state prison.
No, I don't think I don't think anybody has any real, empathy for CEOs who are making $19.5 million in bonuses while you're telling people to, give them 2 months worth of medication. They don't need 6 months, and cutting back on everything and canceling policies, and it's hard to have any real empathy for someone like that. I mean, not that I'm saying you should kill somebody or anything, but the guy's got kids and everything. I'm sure he feels like he's a decent human being, but I don't think many people probably, everybody said Dahmer was a nice guy, I mean, so, Hitler was nice to his dogs. He was kind to children, but so I mean,
if I'm a CEO, I'm being awfully quiet right now.
It's funny because I watched
there's somebody posting wanted signs.
Did you see that? That was
all over New York.
I feel bad for laughing.
CEOs.
I feel bad for finding this stuff comical because somebody did get killed, but
it's
I feel like
terrible. But if there was a revolution, if we had to pick a kind of revolution, right, it would be better. Instead of left versus right, it would be better if it was a normal people versus CEOs. Maybe. There's less of them. They have more money.
I don't know. I mean, I think that they're probably lining up all the CEOs and lawyers and executing everybody. That's the first wave is, probably lawyers and so. I don't know.
God, Netflix is licking their fucking lips right now, bro.
Why? Why they?
Oh, they're getting ready to make a fucking millions of dollars off of this Luigi guy.
Why you think there's a bunch?
They're gonna make a fucking show, a documentary about him. He's a handsome guy, jacked. All the gay guys are lining up, going goo goo gaga over him on the internet.
I saw like a. I was some TikTok that was talking about like this guy wanted to get caught. He didn't want to get caught. This guy had multiple IDs. He did everything he could to try and hide it. I wonder, what I'm curious is like, what was the game plan? Like he he idolized the Unabomber, right? Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, he wrote a review on his book, right?
Right. And several like comments and things like that. He'd posted, he had liked and written little comments underneath multiple posts from Kaczynski on his website. Mm-hmm. But and it was they were all very, very positive. So, I wonder if he wasn't kind of thinking to himself that, hey, I'm going to start cracking these CEOs. That was his game plan, because he took a lot of steps to try and hide his identity. He just, he messed up. He was flirting with a girl. He pulled the thing down for a couple seconds, didn't realize there was a camera there. I mean, you screwed up. Like that's really his downfall. They'd be looking for him right now. They'd be looking for a guy with nice eyebrows.
It's crazy that they literally had 0 leads on him before some old lady on a Greyhound bus at a McDonald's stop.
What? No, it was a McDonald's employee.
All right, yeah, at a McDonald's, but it was like an old lady who worked at McDonald's, I think. And it was like random, he was on a Greyhound bus, right? On a stop. Like that's somebody who like called the hotline and says, hey, I think I found somebody who looks suspicious.
Right.
And he gave the cop his fake ID.
Yeah, well, I don't, like unless that
the guy's a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
He's relatively high IQ individual.
Yeah, but not everybody. Look, if you haven't had interactions with police and you don't know how the system works, he's buying an ID off of some Russian website, right? Like he didn't go into the DMV and get it. Like I would, when I was on the run, I would hand them an ID. I have no problem. I'll get pulled over. Here's my ID, right? Here's my passport. But I have a passport. I have multiple passports that are issued by the State Department. I have driver's licenses issued by that state's DMV. This guy hands him a fake ID bought off some Russian website. Like, what are you thinking? That's not going to pass muster.
No.
It's going to get you a bank account. Maybe it's going to get you into a bar, but you're not. Yeah, this isn't going to work. So they very quickly, boom. And he had a couple different IDs, I believe. A couple different IDs.
Wasn't there a YouTube channel that he had? Did you hear about the YouTube channel?
No.
I saw, my wife was showing me a TikTok last night where this lady on TikTok was talking about how he had a YouTube channel with a countdown on it. And he has a bunch of videos on his YouTube channel that he's scheduled to release later, like at later dates, right? And they had countdowns and like days on them of like saying different things were going to be coming. Steve, can you find something about that? Whoop. And apparently his YouTube channel got taken down, but somebody saved like a screen recording of it and like what the video looked like. Yeah, there you go. That was it.
So this
YouTube reveals truth about claims. Luigi Mangione's posted video saying new details will come today. Okay, so did they debunk it or what?
Copycat warning.
What does it say? They revealed the truth about a cryptic video supposedly posted by Luigi shortly after his arrest on Monday. Blah, 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 blah. The 1 minute, 24-second clip titled The Truth was shared to an account with Mangione's picture as his profile, featuring a countdown with text messages or with text that reads, if you see this, I'm already arrested. So was this some guy just trying to capitalize on his arrest? Scroll down past the McDonald's ad. Once the clock hits 0, the screen goes black and the word soon appears at the bottom right corner. After December 11th, flashes on the screen, which is followed by all is scheduled. Be patient. Bye for now. The video sparked hysteria. We terminated the channel in question for violating our policies covering impersonation, which prohibit content intended to impersonate another person on YouTube. So that was it right there. See where it says 45, the truth?
Yeah.
If you see this, I'm already under arrest.
He's a copycat, though.
Yeah, but they're saying that allegedly he posted this like knowing he was going to get arrested, right?
Yeah, allegedly, but they also said they took it down because it was a copycat.
Right, but wouldn't they also take it down if it was really him?
Yeah, but they wouldn't have said we took it down because it was impersonating him. They would have taken it down because it was political or it violated their, it was whatever it was going. It was, I don't know, it was like screaming, fire in a crowded restaurant. Like
right.
it could have led to, I don't know, some kind of, why don't you pay? Don't you have YouTube Premiere?
I don't fucking know. This is not YouTube. This is a website, dude.
Okay.
There's ads everywhere. I don't know. Do we know how to get an ad blocker? Like does
I
is
have
that a thing we
YouTube
can
Premium.
do? No. Just for normal websites.
Oh, geez.
Well, I thought for a second because we were looking at YouTube, I thought it was.
No. That was just a website.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it was.
So you think it was just somebody trying to capitalize on it?
Yeah. There's so many things.
Yeah, it was probably that.
There's so many things that come out that I've seen. It's like you don't know what's true and what's not true. I watched a video about the weapon. Remember how he fires and then it looks like it jammed and he clears it. He fires again. He clears it. He fires again.
Yeah.
So they were saying initially it was.
He's trying to keep the casings, the shell casings?
No, initially it was the gun jammed because it had a silencer on it. That was the first report. Then it was that it may have been, may not have been a great weapon, may have been some kind of an older weapon, may have been a weapon. Turns out now it may have been a ghost gun, and it had issues.
It was that's what I heard.
Well, then I saw a guy who was a gun enthusiast that has a channel. He did a video where he showed a weapon that is a one-shot, right? It's a one-shot weapon that every time you fire it, you have to clear it. Fire it, and he actually shows people using it. It's the exact same action. So it's one or two. So, and then of course he was found with the ghost gun. So was he found with the ghost gun and the silencer, or was it just an additional ghost gun? Like I don't know. I don't know. Like all these things slowly come out. There's so much stuff coming out initially.
Yeah.
But boy, let me tell you, when this guy was showing the firing of that silenced gun, it was exactly what this guy was doing.
Really?
It was like boom, he's boom, and he's pulling it because he's
and the guy was clearly not a professional shooter either. He hit the guy in the leg, and then like all body shots, right? Not one headshot.
What he did. Here's the funny thing. Look how far away it was. Why wouldn't you just run right up on him?
Right.
Well, it's not
plus
easy
you were
to hit a target.
Plus, if you were a skilled shooter, it would have been one shot done.
Right. Is that the weapon?
So this is what you were talking about. This is the well rod. Here, pull it up for people. This is that what they call an assassin gun. It's meant for
is that it?
euthanizing animals. So it's a single shot. That's why it's it's not really good for assassinations.
Right. You have to reload it every time.
There's a good picture of it right there.
So that was initially what this guy was saying. This is the weapon that he believed. But, I still don't know what the real weapon was. Keep in mind, too, the guy had multiple IDs. You could buy these things on like the dark web. But if you could buy a ghost gun, I don't know why you wouldn't buy a ghost. But, he probably just didn't know that much. Like the average, even getting a fake ID, that's difficult to do. I mean, you have to do some searching. You probably have to order a few of them before you actually get one. A lot of these places just rip you off.
Right. Well, isn't it funny that we also know like way more about this guy, 100 times more about this guy than we know about Crooks?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very weird.
Nothing about him.
They just they let that go. Like, oh yeah, that's over.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Just like that. Nobody's interested in this at all.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the chances are that this guy? What do you think is going to happen to this guy in prison? He's going to get a lot of time.
He's going to be idolized.
You think?
Yeah, I think if they were smart right now, he'd be trying to get some kind of a deal for like 30 years. He's going to be idolized. In 30 years in New York City, I don't know what is that, 15, 20? I don't know how. I don't know if they have parole. I'm not sure exactly how their system works.
What did Hinckley get? Hinckley's out now, right?
Hinckley got Hinckley, I don't know that he got much of anything. He was found to be insane. They could keep him forever.
Right.
They just eventually, after like 40 something years, they decided, let this guy out.
Yeah, now he's out making YouTube videos.
He's making music. He released an album.
I remember we watched it. We watched it last time we were recording. Yeah, so
God, the world's so weird.
Dude, it's like a fucking video game, man.
Look at the Tuah girl. I thought, she's just kind of a cute, silly
she pulled
girl.
off a scam.
She pulled off a rug pull.
What happened with that? You got to educate me on this. So she did some sort of crypto.
Yeah, she came
pull.
with like the Tuah, not Tuah, but it was like the
Hawk coin,
the Tuah coin or something, the Hawk coin or something. Yeah, and it went it was outrageous how high it went. I think it went to like $500 million, 500 million or something. Yeah, and she.
Whether it's fear of government takeover or just protecting your family, Stopbox is made for you and me. And I'm happy to have them sponsor the show. Instant access to your firearm while being safe around your family is a huge challenge for gun owners today. Most storage options force you to keep track of keys, fumble around with a keypad, or rely on a battery for operation. And personally, I don't want a dead battery keeping me from protecting my family. That's why Stopbox USA engineered the Stopbox Pro. Now I have a way to safely store my firearm without keys or electronics to open it. Stopbox is purely mechanical and dead simple. This means you're always ready, even in the dark or under stress. It's glass fiber reinforced polycarbonate, and it's tough and secure. This one here is perfect for keeping next to your bed or under your mattress, and it's perfect for bedside. And I even can keep this one in my truck center console, but they also make one specifically designed for your vehicle. StopBox is also TSA compliant, so you don't need a separate carry case. And they also have a wall mounted version, and like I mentioned, one that's easy access in your vehicle. And for a limited time only, our listeners are getting a crazy deal. Not only do you get 10% off your entire order when you use code Danny at StopBoxUSA.com, but they are also giving you buy one, get one free for their StopBox Pro. That's 10% off and a free StopBox Pro when you use my code Danny at StopBoxUSA.com. Discover a better way to balance security and readiness with StopBox. It's linked below. Now back to the show.
She and her team got 85% of it, pulled the money out at the beginning. What is it? 490 million market cap.
Oh my God.
People are they got people on YouTube with commercial or with videos that are like talking about how, man, I put $20,000 into this, and now my coin is worth $190.
So how much money did she make when she pulled out?
I don't know. It depends on how much of the 85%.
Go to PewDiePie, or not PewDiePie. Go to CoffeeZilla's Twitter.
Oh, CoffeeZilla. Like
his Twitter, he posted something about it because people were like trying to say that she made way more than she actually did. And Coffee corrected them real quick. He was like, yo, you guys are like getting out of control here. Go up. Okay, right there. Can y'all stop the insane headline? She didn't rug for 500 million and she didn't profit 50 million, for fuck's sake. Number one, the team pre-sold a few million to strategic advisors who sold early. Number two, the token got sniped. And three, LP, what is that? LP made more than 1 million on 15% fees, according to the Meteors trackers.
Is LP the service that sell the coin?
Maybe. Huh.
So what does she make? So he's saying it's under 50 million.
So go down to this next tweet. Okay, go up. Oh, and she isn't being sued yet. So literally everything in this post is misinformation. Keep going down. The normies who purchased did get rug pulled. And all of this was enabled by the team, which includes the Hawk Tuah girl. It's already horrible. No need to invent headlines about a $500 million rugs and $50 million profits. Meme coins always benefit insiders and trading bots. Oh, that shows. So that's the Hawk Tuah coin. So look, it peaks at 0.4, and then it just fucking falls. Keep going down. No, he did a Hawk Tuah jail, straight to a jail. 3%. Allocation to public market, 17% allocation unlocked, pre-sale wallets, do the math. So she did something. She like pre-sold that stuff to like insiders that they were close to, and then they all sold it before the thing fell out.
It shot all the way up, and boom, they started selling.
Right.
And then so you're some guy who put $20,000 in, and you don't know when to sell.
Yeah.
So you lose. They just took your money and left you with some worthless coin.
At what point are these celebrities going to learn to stop doing fucking crypto shit?
FBI comes in and starts indicting people and makes examples of a few of them.
Yeah.
And then it like, here's what's funny is like, this is such an open and shut case. Like, I'm shocked that the Zoo coin with Logan Paul. Well, why didn't he go to prison? Why didn't he get indicted?
Yeah.
Like, it's like it's funny how amazing the FBI and the federal law enforcement is at solving some crimes, and how inept they are at solving other ones that honestly any idiot could put together. Anybody. You don't even need law enforcement. I could lay out you don't even need training. I could lay out an entire case that would convince any jury that this person 100% just ran a scam. And yet they just let them keep going and going and going.
Maybe they had an argument. Maybe if Logan Paul went to jail, it'd be a bad look for American democracy.
I think it'd be a great look.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great look. I think the problem is they haven't done it yet, and the first case they want to be airtight. I think the Logan Paul one. I think there's tons of them that are airtight, and yet why they keep letting them go, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just like there's these cockroaches that are surrounding this Hollywood scene, and whenever somebody just pops up, they just see an opportunity to make a quick buck.
Well, what's funny is like, she seemed just like a kind of a backwoods kind of girl that, honestly, I seemed like she'd probably be a lot of fun to hang out with and silly and funny, and she's just kind of a party girl. And, kind of like honestly, kind of like a Florida Southern girl, big,
We're gonna do a crypto thing. Trust me, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make a lot of money. It's gonna be great for the brand. All right.
Yeah, that's when it becomes a problem when people are just like, oh, I don't really know anything about it, so I didn't really have anything to stop. You understood the basics that people are going to be investing in.
Focus on the Talk Tuah podcast.
Absolutely.
We'll make you some money, okay?
Right. Well, yeah.
You're going to be fine.
And if that's the case, then you know what? It's going to show that when they get all the text messages and emails and all of the phone calls, they're going to be very quickly you would realize like, oh, wow, like she had nothing to do with this. They used her name. Mm-hmm. They asked her to do a video or two. Like she had she was not really culpable. Like she had very little. She had a minor role in this whole thing. Yeah. And then you'd be like, oh, wow, they just kind of took advantage of you. But I don't know. But if you look at it the other way, they're like, oh, wow, this was very clearly explained to you. You knew what was going to happen. You're in a lot of trouble. Yeah. But either way, it doesn't even matter because they're just not going to do anything. They just never do anything with these things.
No, they don't.
If I was involved, boy, I'd be doing 20 years right now.
Right? For real. Yeah, that's true. It's crazy, too. I haven't heard shit about the Logan Paul case in forever.
Listen, bro, I'm telling you, I was positive something.
Coffee is still making videos about it, isn't he?
I don't know.
Logan Paul suing him, right?
What a jackass this guy is. I mean, what? Yeah, just even everything about this guy is a scam. Like even the fight with Tyson. We're gonna go through the motions. You're gonna lose. We're gonna go through the motions, and then you're gonna lose, and then we're gonna fight another one, and you're gonna make even more money. Like, all right, I like it. Yeah. I like it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
This is a shitty thing for Tyson to do too.
Yeah.
But that seems like that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't think anybody watched that fight and thought, oh yeah, this is legit. and this is not set up.
And then, did you watch it?
I did.
Bro, like, I don't know about you, but our Netflix was just crap. It just kept freezing and freezing.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix should be ashamed.
It was unwatchable. It was buffering the whole time. I think I had to turn it off on my TV and I had to watch it on my phone. It was working on my phone. Crazy. What's going on with these New Jersey drones?
New Jersey drones?
New Jersey drones. You haven't seen about the New Jersey drones?
I heard something about it.
These drones have been hovering around New Jersey, over New Jersey and other states. Now it's in California too.
Drones or?
They're drones. They're fucking drones. They're conventional like drones, but they're big. They're apparently like the size of this table. And they're like slow moving, like normal everyday drones. They're not moving like light speed, like going through wormholes or anything.
Right.
And they have like lights on them, typical sort of like airplane lights that you see, nav lights.
Right.
And nobody knows what they are. They interviewed the FBI director in front of Congress. He doesn't know what the hell they are.
Shoot one down.
They're interviewing the people from the Pentagon. They're like, oh, we don't know what they are.
Let's knock one down. How hard is it to, where is this, in New York?
New Jersey.
New Jersey? They got guns in New Jersey.
That's what I said.
Let's start shooting some of these fuckers down.
This is all over the news. All day, every day. It's all anyone is talking about.
Well, listen. Let me tell you how my time is broken up. I have done 6 podcasts this week, and I have another one tomorrow. This, if you include this as a podcast, which I don't, this would be 7 because it's not my podcast.
That's crazy.
So I'm literally
getting podcasts.
Yeah, it's a lot of podcasts. So between that and my scroll time for TikTok and Reels, that's an hour or 2. I just stopped working out.
Did you really? I can tell.
Dick. Yeah, I got to start working out again,
or at least up the dose of the roids.
I know. That's what Ryan said. Keep taking them.
Oh, really? Are you still with Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
What's your dose? What's your weekly dose now?
I don't know. Jess gives it to me.
Oh, you don't even fucking care. You just say, you just pull your pants down and say, go for it.
Yeah, so don't. So she gives me the Ozempic and the thing.
Shut up. You're not on the Ozempic,
the right
bro.
balance. I got the right balance.
You're not on the Ozempic.
No, it's the other version. I don't. Ozempic's the
GLP-1.
Ozempic is the name brand. The actual chemical is something else. That's what I'm taking. I forget the name of it.
Why are you taking that?
Bro, I got up to 185. Now I'm like 173. I actually got down to 169.
From what though? It's muscle, right?
Muscle? I mean, what do you
muscle
mean?
And water.
I lost. It's not water. It's fat. I lost weight. You take it and you can eat like you're normally eating and you just start losing weight.
Is that okay though?
Probably not. It's probably
I don't think it's safe to
you.
be fucking whacking yourself with all these pharmaceutical drugs, man.
I know it's horrible. You should see the amount of pills I'm taking right now.
I think you should figure out a better way.
I need to find, but that's a lot more.
I think you need
than
to
I
get
have
off
at
that
this moment.
testosterone.
Probably.
There's probably a better way. Just if you can up your natural testosterone, you know how you do it? This is how you got to do it, bro. You're up early every day, right? Mm-hmm. The best way I've learned recently to jack your testosterone levels is to get outside in the morning, right when the sun comes up, and just be outside for like 20 to 30 minutes during the sunrise. You don't have to be in the direct sunlight. You just have to be outside during the sunrise, right? The other thing is you can do cold water exposure, get in the cold water, come out, and then you work out afterwards. That severely increases your testosterone. Then you just jam a bunch of creatine, go to the gym, do a bunch of bench presses, squats and all that. You'll be fine. Eat a lot of steak.
I don't even need to do all that. I just need to start working out again.
Yeah, that's true. You need to start working out again.
And I eat good anyway.
Get off the Ozempic stuff.
But listen, I just needed to drop some weight. I dropped it. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
But I did pay for it, and I still got some left in the bottle, so we're going to keep taking it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm being interviewed. I got to go to L.A. I'm being interviewed for some story out there. I'm like an expert on some true crime criminal guy that they're interviewing me on. And
really?
To meet with a producer out there.
Fun.
What else? Yeah, that's it.
What's So you haven't seen anything about the New Jersey drone stuff?
I saw something, but no, I haven't really looked into it. I haven't,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the story is there's I guess dozens and dozens of drone sightings for people in New Jersey every single day. You can find these videos on every website. It's like you turn on Fox News, it's on there all day long, all day. There's people just like showing their videos of what they see in the sky. Senate, Congress hearings with the FBI director, with people from the Pentagon, the military, and they're all saying we have no clue what this is. Then some state representative, I forget who it was, maybe it was a congressperson, said that it was a Iranian mothership parked off the shore of New Jersey, and all these little mini drones are coming off the mothership and hovering over New Jersey, over Trump's golf course. And then finally,
this is someone from Congress.
Are you kidding me?
I can't believe that.
And the guy finally came and walked it back. And it's like, oh no, I said, it could be a possibility, but which that was probably one of the most.
I'm sure the Navy wouldn't notice. Some.
No. The country that spends 10 times more on military than any other country in the entire fucking world, with nuclear submarines patrolling our coast, Navy fighter jets and battleships everywhere. They're not going to notice an Iranian mothership, let alone Iran's Navy. Like,
I don't even think.
Do they even have a prop plane, let alone a mothership?
Yeah, could they even get over here? I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they got some good shit. I know Russia gives them some serious equipment, but I doubt they.
Because all the Russian equipment's working so well.
They're not going to get across the frickin' Atlantic.
No, unnoticed.
No, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. But I think the guy walked it back. Anyways, everyone is like speculating on this, and Julian posted a tweet about it a couple hours ago. The holidays are full of stress with holiday shopping and travel and dealing with that one in-law that you don't care for. Restore your zen and embrace the natural power of hemp this season with Via. If you haven't heard, Via is well known for their award-winning hemp-based gummies, vapes, topicals, and calming drops. I've been taking their gummies and I love them so much I give them away to all my friends and Steve. I like to break them up into little quarters so I can microdose when I want to be creative or get a good night's sleep. Via legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging and a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. Via's hemp extracts are perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. Via is the only lifestyle hemp brand, and they use compounds found in hemp along with active plant extracts to create products with specific effects. So you get a tailored experience, whether you want to ease anxiety, enhance your mood, or just elevate your life. And if you're not into THC, that's okay. Their CBD products are designed for sleep, focus, and energy too. They're experts in hemp extract and using it to get the effect you want naturally. Their products range from 0 milligrams to 100 milligrams of THC, so these guys have you covered whether you're looking to microdose or enjoy more potent effects. Via is handcrafted in the USA with no harsh chemicals, and it's A&B tested and certified hemp. And they've won awards for their customer service with over 500,000 served. This holiday season, give yourself some peace of mind. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code DANNY to receive 15% off. Again, check the link to Via in the description and use the code DANNY for 15% off. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them, and please support the show and tell them we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via. And can you go on Twitter and pull up Julian's tweet? He posted a random tweet that is going like super nuclear viral on Twitter. Look,
well, I know what that is. I know what that is.
It's like a flying car.
Yeah, that's one of those flying cars.
Mysterious giant drone.
It's not a drone. It's a flying car.
It looks like the Jetson drone. The Jetson 1 drone. Have you seen those?
I was thinking the flying car thing.
So
Like
go to
they've got
X. Go to X and pull up Julian's. Go to Julian. Yeah, click on him and then scroll down. Look at him. He's getting like 1,000 new followers a minute now. Right there. Hearing some very creepy things about these drones from sources. They are. Yes. Yeah.
This is what that is. Look, that
is exactly what that is. Julian says, I'm hearing some very creepy things about these drones from sources. They're definitely not aliens. I'll tell you that. Almost 500,000 views on this tweet, this random tweet that he posted 5 hours ago.
Mysterious.
So now he's posting a video about it because his tweet's going viral, talking about his secret sources.
He really needs to get that kitchen under control in the background.
So we talked to a source of his, one of his
Andrew
sources.
Bustamante.
No, it wasn't Bustamante. He said it's somebody who's never been on this podcast. He wouldn't even fucking tell me on the phone who it was.
Oh my god, he's so yeah, well you're borderline the same way. So what am I saying?
am not the same way.
You're maybe 30% of his paranoia with they're watching me and this,
oh my god.
They've taken they're threatening my channel or I'm
Oh, stop it, bro. No, he just wouldn't tell me who the guy was because the guy made him promise he wouldn't say who he was. He's like, Danny Jones, I'm not even telling you. I won't even tell you if we were locked up in a Faraday cage right now.
He said Cox. Danny Jones.
Yeah, he'll say when he's serious, he says your whole name.
No, yeah,
Matt Cox, I'm telling you right now that I'm shadow banned.
And
I've done everything I can. I've seen the analytics. I've studied this, Matt Cox. I've studied this. Oh my god.
He has.
I know he has.
He goes deep on the analytics, dude. I've never met anyone who goes as deep as he does. Anyways, so he's got a crazy super confidential source who knows fucking who the guy is or who he works for. But anyways, nobody we know, allegedly. That's what he says.
The NSA knows. So why not say it?
Who told him something. He won't even tell me what the guy said. He just said that it's not aliens.
Okay.
Right? But Julian has a theory, and I think he might be spot on with this theory. His theory is that whatever these drones are that is causing all this paranoia, all this media frenzy, we're on a podcast talking about it.
It's a psyop.
Not a psyop, but what it is it's sort of like they're getting you acclimated. A societal.
They're getting you acclimated.
No, it's like a societal war game, right? So they're running a test on society to see how people respond.
It's like a psyop.
The theories they come up with.
Oh, okay.
See what the narrative ends up being. Seeing how people react, what people's actions are, what they do. In the case that something real happens that is similar to this, to be prepared for how the country will react.
Wow.
Which I think makes a ton of sense. I think that makes the most sense because how else do you explain people in the Pentagon, the military, and the FBI not knowing what it is? Unless it's some sort of like top secret simulation that they're running or like even a test.
I think some guy opened his personal flying car early for Christmas, got it out of the box, put some lights on it, and flew it at night to see what would happen. And he's laughing his ass off right now with his wife. If they're $85,000.
There's dozens and dozens of them, dude.
I only saw one.
Go back to the videos. There's tons of them. There's way more than one.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch. You can watch
Tons.
videos on Fox News with like 12 of them flying around. There's videos of like dozens of them. There's videos of like at least 6 in the sky at once.
It sucks that it's at night because
look, and it's blink. It's
blinking.
Okay,
It's totally
it's nobody in New Jersey has an AK-47.
It's
I can't. I mean, I agree. You're telling me you can't take this thing down?
So this is a 4-rotor. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is a center body pointing up.
You can't.
that looks like an airplane.
No, it's definitely a drone.
They're moving like drones, but they look like airplanes.
Got a little blinking light. Like, what is it? So what? Like aliens?
That's not an airplane.
That
That's
looks,
not
that looks like an airplane.
I don't think
Front
anybody
lights,
thinks
tail.
it's aliens.
No, I think it's one of these hovercraft things flying at night, slowly, off the street lamps.
This is the video I think I was seeing.
Okay. So
Look,
yeah,
look at that.
There you go. So can I mention something that I've noticed
What have you noticed?
that you said dozens.
She said 3 right there.
So a dozen
There's another video
is
that shows
12.
more. There shows
Dozens
Look, there's
would mean at least 2, which is 24. You have
1,
3.
2, 3, 4, 5. I think 3.
I mean,
34.
that's pretty unique right there.
At least 5 in that shot.
Boseak has a drone. They're like $110. Anybody can get a drone now. You get an expensive one for $1,000.
Why? What? So you think these are just like people, like
think that these are
random
probably a
people
bunch
just
of-
trying to psyop the news?
You're probably going to find out that this is a bunch of 15-year-old boys who all got drones and saved up for drones, and
Yeah,
they're
but they're
just flying them around.
They're flying over military bases and airports and shit. If you or me go and fly our drone over Tampa International right now, there's going to be a Fed on our doorstep in less than 12 hours.
Right, but you've got to be able to track it all the way back to find it. Like if they're not,
This has been going on for 3 weeks.
Well, then eventually I think they will find it. They're going to track it back to little Billy's backyard. Little Billy's going to give up Donnie and Todd and Steve. They're all going to be crying like a bunch of children in the police department, and then it's gonna be one night of news, and it's going to be over.
I don't know, man. I think it's something bigger than that.
Because they're drones. They're clearly drones. They're blinking.
Yes, I agree. They're clearly drones. But somebody said that like the reports are showing that they're as big as small cars, like small SUVs, mid-sized SUVs.
Well, I mean, we saw at least one of them that's probably one of those automobile things.
That looks like the size of one of those automobile things. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
You don't even need a license for them as long
People
as
in
they're
New
under
Jersey
$600.
aren't sophisticated enough to drive one of those things around at night.
Anybody, absolutely.
You think?
Watch the video. They say with less than an hour of watching, you can watch it's like a 45-minute video, trains you to know exactly how to fly it. Exactly. It's not like a where you can hit the stick and flip over. Like it's up, down, forward, back, forth.
Yeah.
It only flies for about an hour. It's less than 600 pounds, and you do not. They're $85,000, I think. And
Yeah, my buddy just bought one. It's called the Jetson 1.
Okay, and you don't have to have a license because it's under 600 pounds. That's it.
Yeah,
Anybody can
but
fly
you
one.
do have to take like a 2-day class though, from what I heard. Look at this guy. New York officials launch a public safety. What does this have to do with the drones?
This is officials provide update on mysterious drone sites.
Okay,
This
let's
is
see, let's
live.
see what they're saying. Oh, this is live right now.
Yeah.
No, this is daytime.
They say it's live.
In other cities, we are placing people into housing and making sure they get the services they want.
That's
so
a
our
mistake.
goal is to increase the NYPD's presence and dedicate outreach teams. Place over 70 New Yorkers in shelter, seize over 650 of those pesky illegal pedicabs, and issue 6,500 pedicab related violations.
I think it's just clickbait.
This has nothing to do with the drones.
Yes. This is a load of bullshit.
Jesus Christ. So Julian said if Trump doesn't, he's scheduled to show up to the Army-Navy football game tomorrow, right? If he doesn't show up to that game, he says we need to get the fuck out of Dodge. We need to start driving west.
Oh my God, what is happening?
Seriously. If Julian calls you tomorrow and
He
says,
won't call me. Julian would let me die. If there was the apocalypse, he wouldn't warn me.
Yes, he would.
No, if Julian's flying into Tampa,
Stop it.
I don't hear about it till he's
Stop
about to
it.
get on the plane,
Stop
and
it.
Danny says,
Stop
"Hey,
it.
Julian said hi."
Listen, stop it.
I'm the outside. I'm an outside person.
No,
I'm the outside.
That's
guy.
not true.
It's true.
It's not true. If he calls you tomorrow and says, Matt Cox,
Did you
start
see my case?
driving west.
Did you see my case?
That's beautiful.
It's great.
Kris Kringle
Very cool.
with the mistletoes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Christmas.
I know you do. Thank you for sending me all of these. Oh, you stopped sending me videos.
Yeah, I did. I know. I don't know. I got laxed. I'm going to start up again.
You got what?
Very laxed. I got very disappointed in myself. I started sleeping in.
Stopped going to the gym. Stopped sending Christmas videos. What is going on with you, dude?
Listen, we've been doing a ton of podcasts.
Yeah,
so,
you're a machine. You're recording 6 podcasts a week.
Yeah, because we're catching up. We're catching up because Colby, my Steven is Colby, and so he's leaving town and I'm leaving town soon. So we need a backlog, and the hurricanes wiped out our backlog. We had a week or two kind of cushion. Well, that wiped it out.
It wiped out your podcasts?
Yeah, because people couldn't fly in for 2 weeks straight.
Oh, I thought you were saying you lost a hard drive or something.
No, they couldn't fly in. And so literally it was so bad, Colby had to go get 2 videos that were shot a year ago, cut them, re-edit them, and post them.
Yeah.
We thought, nobody will know. Well,
Yeah.
I was wrong about that because, 50% of the...
Look, the same thing happened to us, man.
Yeah.
Except the beach is right fucking there. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
At least you guys didn't get hammered and flooded like us.
No, matter of fact, I actually slept through the second hurricane that hit, ripped off everybody's roof in my neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Jess tried to wake me up. She's like, wake up. It's, and I would wake up and I'd be like, oh man, that sounds so great. Like it was like a nice wind. And then I woke up in the morning and
everything was thrashed.
Every sign was twist off and laid down there. We've got probably 40 houses in a row where half of the shingles are off, or if not entirely gone on all these 2-story houses. You're just like, whoa, I slept through this?
At 9 o'clock at night when that second hurricane was coming through.
And we lost power for 3 days.
Yeah, so we lost power for 4 days.
Ooh.
Per hurricane.
And you got little kids too.
And we got kids. That is miserable. The second hurricane at 9 p.m. at night, I'm sitting in my living room. This was before my power went out. My power didn't go out till late. But I'm sitting in my living room and I'm sitting next to my chimney, right? So like I can hear the wind flying over my chimney. And it sounds like, this is the best description I can come up with. It sounds like I'm in my house and my house is free falling through the sky. Like my house is skydiving and I'm inside of it. That's what the wind sounded like.
You've never seen...
It was fucking scary, dude.
You've probably never seen this. Oops. Let's see. This is the... hold on. Dorothy in...
Just tell him to find it. He can pull it up.
Falling. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. When her house is falling.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly what it sounded like. That is exactly what it sounded like.
When you said that, that's what I pictured.
Yep, that's exactly what it was, bro. That's where that person got the idea for that scene. They must have been through a couple hurricanes in Florida, or maybe some tornadoes in Kansas. But yeah, that sucked. No power is the worst part about it, dude.
Yeah, you don't realize how
dependent
much
you are.
You need power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything in the fridge starts going bad. I mean, if you're like a single dude, it's probably not that bad. I mean, if I was by myself, I would be totally fine. But it's like my wife and my kids. My oldest kid's fine, but like my wife and the little one, they just cannot handle it. If they're not happy. If they're miserable, I'm fucking miserable. So that's the worst part. But we luckily got like.
You mean because you're connected in that kind of you have that kind of bond, or you mean they make me miserable kind of way?
Yeah, the latter.
Okay.
But luckily, like 2 days before the hurricane came, I bought a big ass generator that runs on propane. And I got these propane tanks that are like this tall. So I had. Wow. My generator running my whole house. I got it wired into my panel, so it fucking connects to my panel and runs my whole house.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because when it hit and we lost power, I wished I'd done that. So it's the same thing,
Yeah.
I knew I should have done that. But see, we're so far inland that when everybody was like, it's going to hit, I was like, we're fine. We're not going to we're so far inland.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Evacuate? I'm a Floridian. I'll just deal with it. It's not going to hit me. And I'm 10 miles inland. And then you lose power and you're like, this is chaos.
Yeah.
They have to fix this.
Dude, around here was crazy too, because literally like the beaches were destroyed. I don't know if you like saw the beaches or if you ever went on the beach.
No,
there.
I mean, I saw the video.
Oh my God, dude. It was like doomsday on the beach. The roads were covered in sand. Every car was destroyed. Every house was gutted with all like their beds and their clothes and their furniture all out in the middle of the road. And it was just like, it was a straight up disaster. Like everyone had to leave the beach. It was totaled, completely totaled. And like they're still cleaning it up. They have giant dump trucks going up and down the roads every morning still cleaning up shit.
I know, like a week or two ago, we were driving. I forget where we were going, and it was in was it Sarasota? Did we go to Sarasota? Or anyway, yeah. And as we were going to the hotel, there was still just stuff piled up on next to the road where people had gutted their houses, and they're just piling it up. And stuff. So yeah,
houses are going now on the beach that were like for sale for $4 million a couple months ago. They're going for sale for like 1.5.
Well, that's a bargain.
$2 million bucks now.
You scoop any up?
Ha.
They're going. It's a fire sale on the beach right now, and then you can buy like 1-story houses that got really wrecked for like $500,000 right on the water. Houses that were $2 million a couple months ago. $500,000.
What are you doing?
You can't get insurance on them. You can't insure them. And you got to demo the house. You got to build a new house. If you want to get a legitimately insured house, you got to build it up 12 feet. Right, and it's got to be a 12-foot foundation garage, basically, that's not livable, and then above that you got to build a whole new house, basically. So it's like you're paying that much money for the land.
Right. Yeah, have to count me out.
You can do it, man.
There's a good
There
shot.
it is. Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's not even the worst of it, too. No. That's like just, what it still looks like.
Yeah, that's just a small pile.
That was like yesterday. You should have seen it a month and a half ago. It was insane, man. All the restaurants completely shut down. They're just starting to reopen now. Like our favorite Thai food restaurant just reopened a week ago.
You've gone this long with no Thai food?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God, actually got me thinking about it. I think after this I'm going to go get some.
Speaking of Thai food,
I'm really fucking hungry right now. I haven't eaten all day. I ate breakfast. I ate steak and eggs for breakfast at like 8 a.m. And I'm like, I'm not going to eat the rest of the day till after the podcast. And then right before I'm getting ready to leave to come here, for leaving my house, my wife has a freaking pile of pizza and breadsticks on the counter. I'm like, oh, and I just like demolished 4 breadsticks right before I got here.
So
not ideal.
Speaking of Thailand, John Boseak is in Thailand right now.
Really?
Listen.
What is he doing there?
He lives there. He lives in Thailand now.
How long ago did he go there?
A year ago, he had this, one of his angry rants about how horrific, how he can't live here anymore. He doesn't like, he busts his ass. He can't make enough money to, to survive. He's sick of, working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, which he doesn't work, by the way. He's one of these guys, he'll be like,
He's living at your house, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He lives in my spare room, and he'd be like, I worked 10 hours. And it's like, I'm like, no, you left at 10 in the morning. You came back at 2. You worked 4 hours, but that's fine. The problem is he just doesn't want to work. And he'll tell you, he's like, look, I'm lazy. I don't want to work 40, 50 hours a week to pay my bills. I like working, I like what I do. Like, I don't feel like it's work. Yeah. So it doesn't bother me to work 60, 80 hours a week. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to, he just has other interests, right? So he just, a year ago, he came up with the, I don't want to say scheme, but the plan that he wants to leave the United States, which he's never left, by the way. So, and decides he's researched all the different places to go, figured out Thailand was the best place to go. He's going to go to Thailand. And, of course, I've been telling him, you're insane. That's nuts. He's, no, I'm going to save my money up for the next year, go there. That'll give me 3 or 4 months where I don't have to work. I'm going to start a YouTube channel in Thailand, get it up and running, and I'm going to live off the YouTube channel. I'm like, you're insane. That's never going to fucking happen.
Wow.
Here's the thing. is that he's been there for about a week and a half, but it seems to be working. Like his YouTube channel, which had like 12,400 subscribers when he got there, now has like 13,200 or 300 subscribers. His videos are getting a few thousand views. He's doing videos where he's walking through the streets. He's telling you how much things cost. And here's the big thing, because it has been a year of research. I get sucked into the research every once in a while and walk by the couch. And he's like, check this out. Look at this condo. And I'll watch the condo. They do a tour of the condo and this and that. You watch the whole thing. You're like, okay. And then they get to the end and they're like, yeah, it's, 15,000 baht. That's the name of their currency, a
Baht.
A month. And you're like, okay, what's that? And then it tells you and you're like, are you telling me that 1 bedroom, 1 bath condo on the 22nd floor of a brand new high rise in the middle of Bangkok is going for $490 a month? Yeah. And you're like, that's not possible. And then you start looking at it like you can eat out every meal there, $3 a meal. So for less than $10, you're going into a restaurant. Hey, I want this such and such and whatever. And it's $3. Like across the board, water is going to be about $11 a month. Electricity is going to be about $7 a month. Your Wi-Fi bill, $6 a month. I mean, across the board, it's insane.
Wow.
And it's not like it's horrific. There are horrific parts of the city, but it's not just Thailand. Like I forget the. Listen, he watched so many of these videos, he could tell you what street the guy was on who's walking around with the video. So he really looked into it. And then, of course, I kept joking with him and with Jess. I was like, I think in 3 months from now, I'm going to get a panicked phone call where you're like, send me $1,200 to get me back to the United States, but he landed and.
Does he have a girlfriend over there you met?
Actually met a girl on like a website that he was communicating with. And so and she's a school teacher.
Oh, nice.
So he lands there. He's already got a girlfriend and he's already put out like 4 videos. They're doing okay. I'm not getting hundreds of thousands of views, but he's got a channel that's got like 13,000 subscribers. But he's doing really well. And he's a good editor. Like he's good at it. He's doing the vlogging thing. You can tell every video he's getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And they're good. I'm dying to know.
Pull up his YouTube channel.
I'm dying for it to work for him. What's it called?
John Boseak.
It's called John Boseak.
Oh. Interesting. So he's basically paying his bills from doing these YouTube vlogs and
B-O.
That's fine. You'll find it. There you go.
Now, mind you, this meal literally just cost me like 140 baht, which is like $4, literally about $4.30. Check this out.
An egg with rice.
So I got
and
the
a Coke.
Thai fry rice with an egg on top, some trail mix, a Coke with lime.
Ooh, they have to drink water out of the bottle there, right? The tap water is probably not safe.
Yes. $4 meal. And then I got a little surprise for you guys where we're going next.
Let me see his chick. Does he have a video of his chick?
Yeah, you'd have to search a lot.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, his
that place looks wild, man.
Yeah, and he's
how big is Bangkok? Do we know? Look, he's at the
It's got to be larger than New York, but it's got the same amount of people. So they both have about roughly 8.5 to 9 million people living there. And I'd say Bangkok's probably
compared to NYC
twice as big. You think maybe more as far as square footage?
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Top left.
It's got a bigger footprint.
It's double the size.
I don't want to say double.
Well.
But it's quite a bit bigger.
790. What's 790 twice is 15. 790 twice is 1580.
Yeah.
And here you got 15, so it's actually double.
And the population's the same.
Roughly. Yeah. I think they're off by about 500,000.
Okay.
One has about 500,000 more than the other.
Right.
Here you go.
Right.
It's got it all.
Interesting.
New York,
that's
8 million.
That's Hong Kong.
Oh, what? I caught? Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, he's over there. Look, and the places he's renting is they're like $8 a night. $11 a night. You want to stay in like a high rise, like amazing. Oh, by the way, when I told you about that, like the townhouse or the condos you can rent, they're fully furnished.
Wow.
You're not renting an empty place where you got to go get $30,000 worth of furniture to put into. It's fully furnished.
Wow.
You got a concierge. It's got a pool. It's got a rec area. It's got pool tables. It's got a gym. It's got everything.
Really?
I mean, listen.
Damn.
It'd be like going down to downtown Tampa and living in one of those hotels. Only they're 30 stories high. They're amazing. They're amazing. For $500 or $600, you can rent like a 1-bedroom. You want a 2-bedroom? They're more like $700 or $800. But the same thing you could get here for $3,000, $4,000. So he's planning on going there, trying to make that channel work, which I think he will. Just based on if he continues to work hard at it, right? Like it's not easy. And the thing is, how much do you really need for $1,500 a month? You can live like you're making $10,000 a month here.
Yeah.
So I bet if he busts his ass for 6 months, he could be making $1,000, $1,500.
Yeah.
Anyway,
did you get rid of his car? Or does he still have his car?
no, he was driving a car that I had bought for him to drive DoorDash. Oh. And a month before he left, he wrecked it.
That's right on brand.
Yeah.
How did he wreck it?
He was driving and he made a left to turn somewhere and he stopped because the vehicles were coming, like it was like a one-way. He stopped and I think he may have reversed and a guy T-boned him.
Oh, God.
He may not have reversed because I've heard 2 stories.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if he just stopped and the guy T-boned him or if he actually reversed.
2 stories from him or one from him?
Like I never got the exact, I know he got the ticket. So, and then of course, then the whole thing, we got the insurance and there was a negative, it didn't cover it. So I covered it. But he was like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I said, we're just going to tack it on to the
insurance companies suck.
I said, we're going to tack it on to the deficit that is our friendship so far. And he's like, oh man, he's like, I'm sorry, bro. I was just like, man. But he's like, the whole time I've been, joking around like, hey, at some point, I feel like I'm going to get a panicked phone call where you're going to be, please send me some money so I can get it. But he's like, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And then like a month or so before he left, he's leaving. He's like, listen, he said, this is going to work. I know you don't think that. And I was like, no, I hope it does. I hope it does. And he said, there you go. I'm just saying that it is, but like, don't give away my room, right, bro? Because, you just don't know. I started laughing. I don't know if he was joking or not, but it made me laugh.
That's funny.
I was just saying.
I got to take a leak real quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm really behind on work or getting stressed about the holidays, it messes with my sleep. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about Beam's Dream Powder, a science-backed healthy nighttime blend for sleep that is actually clinically shown to improve sleep and have you waking up refreshed. Other sleep aids cause next-day grogginess. Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling refreshed. Everything changed when I found Dream. Whether it's holiday stress or too much blue light at night, whatever the reason is, when I take Beam's Dream Powder, I wake up the next morning feeling incredible. And the best part is it doesn't taste like dirt. It's a powder you mix in hot water or milk. They have tons of flavors, from super latte to pumpkin spice to blueberry crumble dream or cinnamon hot cocoa. Going into 2025, Beam's Dream Powder is part of my nightly routine, and I hope you can experience the same relief I have. The ultimate sleep refresh for the new year. Try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder and get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Danny and use the code DANNY at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/DANNY and use the code Danny for up to 40% off. It's linked below. Now back to the show.
Well, it's funny. We just partnered with somebody to do they were already running a YouTube channel using our clips and other people's clips. And they would just take your clip, they take your clip and they add B-roll and everything. And then they put it on their own channel. Right. Well, guys were sending us stuff from them saying, hey, bro, this is a great one. And I'm like, that's me. But that's not ours.
Yeah, somebody made that.
Yeah, so Colby tracked them down and ended up talking to the guys and saying, let's partner on a channel. So we partnered on the channel. They started it they started it on the November 25th. It's got 32,000 subscribers.
Nice.
It's got one video has like 7.8. One little short has 7.8. Then this one's like 4.2. You know, another one's got 3 million, 4 million, 2 million.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
Matt Cox, you're on the rise, man.
I'm trying. You know, the only thing that's not doing well.
What?
Our Spanish channel.
You have a Spanish channel?
I thought I'd be huge in Spanish.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not huge in Spanish. Apparently, nobody in Spanish people, you know.
They don't care.
I swear, these little people are way too ambitious.
I've made some Puerto Rican comments. I'm not saying I've been kind to the Spanish, but I've made some comments. But still, I think I'm good in Spanish.
Why are short people so much more ambitious?
I'm trying.
Don't you have a theory?
Compensating.
Don't you have a theory about this? Do you have a little man theory?
I'm compensating.
Is that what they all do? Is that like the same thing with Napoleon and all these people throughout history?
Look. Listen.
What? To explain to me. I need to hear this theory straight from the horse's mouth.
Listen.
What are you doing?
Look.
Okay, pull this up on YouTube. How do we find this podcast?
What is this?
All right, people can't see this or hear this, so pull it up on YouTube. How do we find it?
Is it Matt Cox Spanish?
It's when I speak in Spanish. It's in my voice.
Is it AI?
Yeah, it's all AI.
What? All right, give us some volume
Yeah,
on one of
let's
these
do this.
podcasts. We can see what he's got.
All right.
got
Who
cooking.
should we?
Mr. Go to the one on him and Boseak. Anyone, just click whatever.
Conozco a muchos que trabajan en fosas y dirían que si eres honesto contigo mismo, al final estarás bien. Este es un problema con lo de Wes Watson. Pero Wes Watson, ellos te golpean, te violan, tienes que unirte a una pandilla. Tienes que hacer esto, te extorsionarán. ¿Cómo vas a extorsionarme? No tengo dinero. Wes estaba saliendo diciendo, no hice este tiempo aquí. Hay aquello aquí, están las transcripciones.
That is your
aquí
voice.
están los 302, aquí están. Y él está diciendo todo tipo de cosas que honestamente, por eso a mí, cuando salí como, yo cooperé. Si tienes un problema con eso, vete a la mierda. ¿Qué vas a hacer?
Dude, that sounds
Nada.
real.
It
Voy a
does
llamar
sound
a
real.
Genial, vas a
And
llamar
then when you
soplón en la maldita,
go to
en la-
Zach,
en la sección de comentarios.
So who's doing
Que
this?
como
Zach sounds
tengo
it's in
que-
his
tengo
voice.
que poner mi cooperación.
Play
12
Zach?
años
Yeah,
fuera de mi
right.
que deben hacer.
Personas que hacen trabajo que se fue.
Sí, como sí, poniendo en
Trabajo yendo mal.
Wow, that's
Entonces, como-
magical.
Poner en
It's not doing well though. It's got like
Go
600
back. Go back. Let's look at the channel of Alexia videos and how many views they're getting and stuff. 7 subscribers.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Oh, look, that one has no views 3 weeks ago. Not a single view.
Yeah, 40
No one
views.
clicked it.
Yeah.
Give him his first view.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do they even
Pleasure.
do Yeah.
There we go. Now it's got 1. They must not be targeting it right.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
That is very unusual.
You know what I'm thinking too, maybe maybe like the keywords they didn't fill out the keywords, they didn't fill out something's wrong. Like Bro, I got channels. I put up a channel that I probably have 20 videos on, and it's got like 8,000 subscribers. Like it's still getting views every month.
Right.
And so this thing is just dying. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's months old. It's not like it's a week old. This is three they opened like 3 months ago.
Go up. What does that say? Jay-Z what? You did a video about Jay-Z already?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well, who did you have talking about Jay-Z?
Ronnie Bow, which is this kid that actually
How much vetting do you do before you have people on your podcast? Like, do
I-
you make sure that they're like, if they say they're like a Diddy insider, for example?
that's what this guy has actually been shot by. There's an informant, so he gets shot. He got shot, and an informant that's in Diddy's camp,
in his camp.
yeah, which is working for the FBI, tells the FBI Diddy just ordered a hit on this guy, and he got shot. Now the problem is that he talks a lot of shit about Diddy. I mean, I'm sorry, not Diddy. God, Matt, sorry, about Jay-Z. Sorry, an informant in Jay-Z's camp said this guy Diddy or Jay-Z just ordered a hit on this guy, and then the guy gets shot. And he tells them like he knew exactly what was happening, what happened. I've seen there's an FBI report from the they call him a CI, and so that's what we were talking about. The problem when I talked to this guy is that because he was out of his jurisdiction when he got shot.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come on and say like, I was here next to the projects when I got shot. He don't want to say that because they're trying to violate his probation. He's on federal probation right now. So he's like, well, I don't want to say exactly where I was because, we had a whole conversation before. So I'm going to be a little vague. And so, it's kind of not great. But the video on my channel got like 400,000 views or something. So, and I've done a few videos on Diddy and on...
yeah, I saw that. You're like the go-to Diddy news channel.
It's the Courtney Burgess thing. It's because the guy Courtney Burgess, which is so funny because I've literally blasted the guy for being just a pathological liar and lying about this whole thing. And and you know what's so funny is despite the fact that I've done all that, right? Look who still texts me all the time. He just texted me just now.
Courtney's still texting you.
At 7:20. It's 7:40 right now. At 7:20, he sent me a text.
Who is this guy?
Courtney Burgess.
What's his deal?
So Courtney Burgess, I kind of started to tell you a little bit before.
Yeah.
Right? Courtney Burgess. So everybody's heard about the Diddy sex tapes.
Yeah.
Right? The CP, right? CP tape, you want me to say the word or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
The child child tape, the sex tape.
Okay, so when he says that in the future, just
It's
abbreviate
CP.
it so we don't have to fucking
Right. So the
edit this.
CP tapes and the assault tapes, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So what happened with Courtney is Diddy used to date a woman named Kim Porter. Kim Porter had a couple kids of his, and Diddy adopted her son.
Okay.
From another marriage with a guy named Albie Shore, who's a music producer.
Okay.
So Diddy and Porter meet. They're together like 10 or 12 years. And then they eventually split up. They split up, and in 2018, she dies from pneumonia. Now, and a lot of people in Diddy's camp have died from pneumonia. People that have problems with him tend to die from pneumonia. How that's possible, I don't know. People are like, oh, he poisons. I don't understand how you can give someone pneumonia, but whatever. People are saying, oh, it's a certain poison. Well, I'm assuming that they're going to test for this, right? So whatever. I think it's a coincidence, but whatever. The point is she dies. Well, when she dies, the day after she dies, this is all from Courtney. The day after she dies, Kimora Simmons goes to him. And Kimora Simmons used to be married to Russell Simmons. She's now married to another like multi-millionaire. She lives in like a $30 million house. Like she's filthy rich. The idea that she would be hanging out with or even knows who Courtney Burgess is asinine. But whatever. He says she comes to him and gives him one flash drive. Now this is back in 2018. Gives him a flash drive and says that flash drive has Kim's manuscript that she was working on, which is a memoir of her time with Diddy. It's got all the dirt on him. It talks all about everything, every horrible thing he's done. And I want you to get it out there. And he says, okay. And he really doesn't. He didn't do it. According to him, he's like, I gave it to a guy. I kind of got busy, and then I gave it to a guy to try and to get a bunch of books printed up, and we printed up some books, and he was supposed to try and help me get it out there. And he's actually like, these are all like street guys. He's selling them out of the back of his car. He got bumper stickers made up. He got T-shirts. It's called he named it. I forget what the name of his book was, which was equally as just horrible. So it doesn't go anywhere, right? He didn't know how to make these guys they're not marketing geniuses, right? Like Courtney says that he's a music producer. Anyway, so what happens is years go by. Well, at one point, my buddy Wade, Wade Williams, he's been on your channel.
Yeah.
Wade has a podcast. It's got like 11,000 subscribers, and he predominantly interviews mob guys. He loves Goodfellas, mob guys. So he interviews all these mob guys, but he also does other stuff. He'll do porn stars. He'll interview porn stars. He's happily married. He'll interview porn stars, and he'll interview rap. You know, he likes rap and stuff. He grew up during the like Tupac era. And so he hears that he ends up hearing about this guy, Courtney Burgess, who used to work with Tupac, because that's what Courtney says. No proof of that. So he ends up reaching a mutual friend, kind of mutual guy knows him. So he contacts the guy. He ends up putting him in contact with Courtney. He tells him, listen, I'd love to have you on the podcast to talk about your relationship with Tupac. Like, I don't know anybody that knew Tupac. And Courtney's like, yeah. He's like, listen, I got something better than that. He goes, I got Kim Porter's memoir. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah. So he he ends up arranging so that Wade gets a copy of the book that he put out. Wade reads it. Wade contacts me and says, this is what this book says, and starts telling me about the book. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, okay. And he's like, yeah, Kim Porter. And he's like, you know who that is, right? No. You know who Diddy is? I'm like, Diddy. Is that like the guy that is that the Puff Daddy? And he's like, you know, he realizes like, I'm an idiot. I don't know. He's like, you know who Tupac is, right? I'm like, yeah, of course I did a painting of Tupac. I know who that is. But prior to the painting, I didn't know. So he's like, oh, great. And I'm like, look, he's like, well, I was wondering if you wanted to, what would you do? Could you publish it? I'm like, bro, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. Which, by the way, was a huge mistake on my part. That was almost as stupid of a decision as me not opening our YouTube channel when you told me start a YouTube channel. Almost as dumb of a decision. But whatever, we're not talking about me. So what happens is Wade is trying to kind of figure out what to do about this book, and he says, I'm going to contact Chris Todd. Chris Todd is a guy who writes salacious true crime books about, you know, high profile crimes. Let's just say that. That's the politest way to put it. So he contacts Chris Todd. Chris Todd kind of goes, okay, well, put me in contact with this guy, Courtney. They end up getting in contact. Courtney tells him, I have the flash drive. I also have additional flash drives that have sex tapes and CP tapes on of Diddy. And so Chris Todd is like, whoa. So Chris Todd goes, I could probably do something with that. Chris Todd starts making phone calls because Chris Todd is connected. He knows other reporters. He calls a bunch of reporters, starts saying, he starts saying, I have these tapes. He doesn't have the tapes. He's never seen the tapes. I have these tapes. I'd like to try and maybe we could sell them. Well, while he's running around talking about selling them, and by the way, at the same point in time, people start hearing about tapes. It's because Chris Todd is running around talking about tapes. And so other celebrity or content creators start talking about there are tapes about Diddy out there with this and this and this. And so, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Diddy's a decent human being. I mean, he's a scumbag. But I'm saying by running around talking about it, it gets in the ether and people know it's out there and it's being talked about. So while this is happening, Wade and Courtney are saying, publish the book. Yeah. But Todd's not really that concerned about it, right? And they're saying it. Months go by. And then guess whose house gets raided? Diddy's house gets raided. And they grab a whole bunch of surveillance footage. They grab surveillance equipment, guns, baby oil, the whole thing. I'm not sure why baby oil or any of that is illegal, but whatever. It's all creepy. There's a bunch of creepy stuff done.
The baby oil is laced with drugs.
Well, you know, and it's just excessive. Nobody needs 1,000.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if you don't want to keep going to the store, you know, I buy multiple when I go to buy. Yeah, I buy 4 or 5 things of toothpaste when I go. I don't want to keep going back.
Right.
So, the point is that all of this is happening. So, Chris Todd decides, you know what? I am going to go ahead and publish the book. He doesn't want his name attached to it. So he uses a pseudonym, which is Jamal something, which is supposedly the name that Tupac Shakur is living under, assuming he would still be alive, which is also another ridiculous thing to say. So, Chris Todd decides, I am going to publish this book. He puts it on Amazon And I want to say that it just so happens it still takes him months. He's got it to the point where he's going to put it up on Amazon. Diddy gets arrested. I'm pretty sure this is how it worked out. I could have it in reverse, but Diddy gets arrested, and like a week or two later, Chris Todd puts it out. He puts out the book. The book is called Kim's Lost Words. The book is salacious. It is filled with Diddy having intercourse with multiple celebrities, all of them high profile. And I mean, it's not like it's graphic. It's, not overly graphic. It's not written like to be like a thing or even softcore, but it's enough that it's like, you wouldn't want someone saying these things about you.
Right.
And we're talking about, and so I'll give you two of the people. Well, I'll give you a few of them. So it's Bieber, Usher, Jade Smith, Jaden.
Jada?
No, Jaden. The
Jaden Smith. That's Will Smith's
Will
kid.
Smith's kid. It's got
say Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's in there. Albie Shore, which is Kim Porter's ex-husband. And it just goes on and on and on, right? Just multiple. And these are just, they're disturbing scenes. Like if you wouldn't want this, even if it was true, you wouldn't want someone to describe it in these ways. So it's salacious. So it comes out and it literally sells like in 2 weeks, it sells like 30 copies. So Wade contacts me and says, listen, bro, this book is out. This guy was just arrested. Diddy was just arrested. This book is out. It's salacious. He's getting a piece of the whole thing. I want to try. These guys aren't advertising it. He's like, I want to try and get some momentum on this thing. He goes, can we do a podcast? And I go, yeah, we can do a podcast. Sure. I don't know anything about it, bro. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay. You got to understand, I don't know anything about it. He's like, no, I'll talk. Well, we do an hour and 20-minute podcast, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It gets 850,000 views. The book, at the same time, within a day or two, Chris Todd, which didn't want his name associated with the book before, because he knows deep down, I think I don't know. He probably had questions. Like he doubts that it's probably true. He wouldn't say that, but he starts doing interviews. Listen, he's interviewed by Associated Press. I think he's interviewed by several large
media outlets.
He's interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine. It does an interview. Yeah. So within 2 weeks, Kim's Lost Words is a Amazon best-selling book. The best-selling book. They sell over $1.5 million worth of books.
Wow.
Listen, and I can tell you right now, the royalties, it's a small fortune. It's a small fortune. How much it brings in. So, but Albie Shore, in the book, it's talking about Diddy doing a threesome with Kim Porter and Albie Shore, and it's just, the whole thing is vile. And Albie Shore, of course, is like, what is this? And so he hires an attorney who threatens a lawsuit, and they file a cease and desist order to Chris Todd and Amazon. Amazon takes the book down. I mean, you can imagine that thing probably would be close to $7-8 million dollars worth, maybe 10 million. I'm assuming.
Did he fight? Did he? So
Chris Todd didn't do much of anything.
No,
he didn't do much of anything. What ends up happening is that Courtney Burgess, he's still got a bunch of the original ones that he had printed up. So he's like selling those on some website right now, and for like $200 or something ridiculous. What happens is Chris Todd he starts going on all these podcasts talking about, of course it gets shut down. So once it gets shut down, he kind of stops doing the podcast, right? And on the podcast, Chris Todd is saying the tapes exist, that he had gotten a flash drive, that he'd seen the tapes.
Oh, wow.
Whole thing. And so when I end up talking to Wade, I'm like, Wade, Wade's keeping me kind of abreast of some of the stuff, not everything, but he's like, whoa, this happened, bro, this is insane. Chris Todd is calling me, right? I've had him on my program, on my YouTube channel a few times. He's, listen, one of my highest videos is one that Chris Todd and I did on O.J. Simpson. You know, it's got like...
Did you do it right before he died?
We did it like literally, we released the video and he died that morning.
Oh my God.
So my video comes out a few hours later, just as they announce it. Like my video's been up like an hour and then they announce he's dead. My video shoots up to like, literally it's got like 800,000 or 900,000. I don't forget how many views, but it's got like, it's close to 1 million views within a week. So anyway, Chris Todd's also texting me, you know, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you hear this? Hey, and I'm telling him like, bro, I think you may be in trouble. Like this is a big deal. This is an issue. You're going to get yourself sued. I've read the book and it ain't good. Like this says some really fucked up things about people. And most of the things that it says about people are deceased. Anyway, what happens is I go to Wade and I say, Wade, I'd like to talk to Courtney Burgess. He says, okay, I'll put you in contact. I called Courtney and I said, Courtney, what's going on? I said, you know, I understand that you had a flash drive. I talked about the whole thing. Keep in mind that when Todd and Wade have talked about this, they've been very vague. Nobody has mentioned Courtney's name. Nobody knows who Courtney is. Todd just says, I got it from a guy who's a Hollywood insider who was close friends with Kim Porter, you know, with friend of a friend. So I said, so I understand you had a flash drive. And he goes, yeah. He said, well, it was actually, it was 3 flash drives. So, okay. And I said, you got it like the day after? He's like, yeah, like the day after. It was a couple days after it was given to me. I'm like, okay, a little different than what Wade said. So I said, you want to come on the podcast? He goes, yeah, sure, I'll come on the podcast. He says, yeah, I'm sick of Todd running around, you know, basically getting all this press, like, you know. And he's like, yeah, I'm a real motherfucker. I'm gonna talk to you. Okay. So I go and we set up the podcast. And just before the podcast, by the way, and I like to mention this because Courtney consistently will tell you he's concerned about getting the word out that what happened with Kim Porter and how horrific it was and how horribly she was treated and what a scumbag Diddy is. And he's doing this for her in her name because she's a good person and everything. But he wants $200 to do the podcast. You know, it started off at he wanted
a fee for the podcast.
He wanted like $500 or something.
Was it in person?
No, just a thing. You know, just a remote, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but I'm, you know, the Diddy thing's big, and I never pay, bro. Never. Like I don't pay for anything. I don't pay for flights. I don't pay for nothing. And I was like, I talked to Colby, and Colby's like, you know, give him a couple. That's $200. That's nothing. Like we can do $200. I'm like, he's like, let's just see. Okay. So we do it. I pay him. We get on the podcast. He mumbles about his relationship with Tupac and all these people that he knows and how he knows Diddy or never met Diddy, but kind of knows who he is. They kind of grew up in the same neighborhood and whatever. So that goes on and on. What ends up happening is I start talking to him about the flash drives. Okay. He's like, yeah. I'm like, so have you seen these videos of Justin Bieber and Usher and I'm like, who is it? Those two? You told me that's who that was before. He's yeah. He was that and Will Smith's son. He was like, and he throws that in there. Nobody had heard that before. He just throws it in there. Oh, okay. I said, when you got this like after her death? No, I got it about 3 months beforehand. What? 3 months? Okay, so then was it 1 or 2? How many flash drives? It was like 11. It was a bunch of them. 11? Told Wade once. 1. Told me 3. Now it's 11. Told us it was after. Right then I'm thinking, no.
Yeah. This guy's full of shit.
Something's not right. He tells me, I'm like, who gave them to you? Oh, it was a friend of hers. Now, prior to that, he had told me it was Kamala Simmons. Right? And I've also heard it's Kamala Simmons from 2 other people. So I know he's been, but nobody knows that. Everybody's been that he's talked to, he won't say who it is.
Right.
But that's who it was. That's who he told me it was. So, and by the way, initially he wanted to tell people that, but by this point, Kamala Simmons has already come out and said that the book is fabricated, that it's not true. So I think his initial reaction or his initial plan was, I'll tell people on the inside, but I'll never say it out loud. And people will maybe assume, not realizing the book was going to be a bestseller and Kamala Simmons was going to come out and say, that book's lie. Right. She never wrote any book. That's not it. Anyway, the point is that I slowly start talking to Courtney, and I go, Courtney, so have you seen these videos? Yeah, I've seen parts of them. Like, I haven't watched the whole video because, he said, it's two men or two guys having sex. And if you watch a man, even if you watch a man and a woman have sex, that makes you gay. So, well, in color.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Wow.
Okay, well, I guess, throw me in that category. I've seen some stuff. So anyway, he's saying, if it's two men,
right.
No.
Right.
So he said, I've watched enough. I'm like, well, then how do you know they were underage? Well, because Bieber didn't have all the tattoos and his hair was different. And I could tell that Usher was definitely underage. So how old do you think Bieber was? He says, he was definitely under 16 years old.
Yeah.
Probably 15, 16. Usher was definitely young. So Jaden Smith, definitely.
Also, DiCaprio was at a bunch of those parties, those Diddy parties, way back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand, but I mean, we were just talking about this one thing.
Got it.
And I'm kind of talking him, like, trying to understand. So he says he's seen them, didn't watch all of them, but did watch enough to know that these boys are being taken advantage of and that they're all underage. Okay. And I said, do you have the tapes now? Yeah, no, I got them. You still have them in your possession? Yeah, I got them. I go, well, how did you watch them if they were on a flash drive? He goes, I put them into my computer. I watched them on my computer. So you transfer them from the flash drives to your computer. Yes. He goes, and then I ended up wiping them off my computer because I didn't want it on my computer because I use it for editing. I was like, okay. Well, transferring it from one device to another is distribution. And so I said to him, I said, okay, bro, you understand you're in possession of these, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, so that's you're in possession of CP. And he's like, oh, I said, well, I said, and that's, he goes, why? I said, just having them in your possession, you can get in trouble. That's a federal offense. He goes, I didn't make it. I said, that doesn't matter whether you made it or not.
Right.
You can get in trouble.
Yeah.
You've seen it. You know what it is. If you don't immediately notify the authorities, they could charge you.
Right.
Now, if you notify the authorities, you're fine.
Right.
But you didn't notify the authorities. So I explained that to him. I go, no. And I said, why don't you turn them in? Because the government's going to want these things to be used in part of their defense. I'm sorry, part of their case against Diddy.
Yeah.
This is proof that he's taking advantage of, underage kids, celebrities. Because also he also said that there was videos of him having sex with Jennifer Lopez and, Anyway, so he says, and he's like, so he says, what did he say? I said, bro, why don't you give it to the authorities? And he goes, in my neighborhood, he's like, that's snitching. And I was thinking, in my neighborhood, that would be protecting children. Like
snitching on pedos.
Right. He's against that. So I sit there, I'm like, okay, well, so we have another 10, 15 minutes where I'm trying to tell him, look, this is the right thing to do, whatever. He's against it, which is fine. Whatever. That's your problem. So it ends, we post the video like the next day. The comments tear him apart. This guy's a scumbag. He's in possession of CP. That's illegal. Simply being in possession of it's illegal. Yeah. He goes on and on and on about, the comments go on and on. They're like, I'm contacting the authorities. I'm contacting the feds. I'm contacting the U.S. attorney.
Right.
I'm notifying this. I'm notifying. So he gets super scared, right? He even contacts me, and he's basically like, man, people are talking about me going, the police. They're talking about this. He goes, and I saw that you liked some of the comments, like I was hitting, but I'll just bing, bing. And I was like, I don't think that's probably what happened. But, I'm like, whatever. But he's freaking out. So that night he goes on another podcast, probably gets another $200, goes on a podcast where he says, yeah, I already gave the flash drives to the authorities. I already gave it to them. Look, how that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So the next day he texts me and says, the feds just raided my house. Oh. And I went, they did? I said, who did? Who raided him? He goes, the Fed. I go, yeah, which agency? He goes, FBI. Homeland Security is investigating, not the FBI. So I write then no. The other thing is, this is the first time you've spoken. There's no way they got a search warrant that quick. Like having been through the system and spent as much time in the system, I know how things work. He's lying. So he's like, they took everything. They took all my stuff, all my equipment, all my computers. They got the flash drives, everything. He's trying to let me know and everybody know by saying, oh, I already gave them to the feds, to let everybody know I'm not in possession of these things. So I go, oh, okay. So I say, hey, can you send me a copy of the search warrant? And he says, I ain't gonna. I don't need to do that. My lawyer's got it. And I go, okay, great. Can ever give me a copy? Can she send you a copy? He goes, I don't put my business out there like that. And I went, okay, bro. I said, listen. I said, I'm not asking for your bank statements. It's a copy of it's a publicly available document.
Right.
I said, I just want to see it because I want to know what they were looking for. They'll say that in the search warrant.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't about all that. Okay. So I figure we're never going to talk again. A couple days, no, I think about 2-3 days later, he texts me again. Bro, I just got raided again. And I'm like, by who? Homeland Security. And I thought, uh-oh. Now this is enough time to get a search warrant. So he immediately takes a photo and he says, here's a search warrant. He sends it to me. I read it. It's not a search warrant. It's a subpoena. There wasn't a search warrant. It was a subpoena. So probably a couple of guys from Homeland Security showed up, knocked on the door, showed him his badge, and they gave him a search warrant. The search warrant said that it was not search warrant, I'm sorry, a subpoena. Gave him the subpoena. The subpoena was 4 days earlier, the day after I posted my video. So Sunday, my video was posted. Monday, they got a subpoena.
Whoa.
And I know this is true too, because this is what they tell him. Because he's subpoenaed to appear in front of the grand jury with flash drives, devices, like anything to do with any video of Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Love, a.k.a. The whole thing.
Yeah, right.
And all this device, literally, they've got a blanket thing that they give that they want, right? So he's freaking out. Oh, man. I said, well, sounds like you got to go. He's like, no, I don't like them buildings. You walk in them places, you don't walk out. I said, bro, they just want to talk to you. And, so he ends up getting a lawyer and he goes to be subpoenaed. He goes in front of the grand jury, gets in front of the grand jury. He said, I get in front of the grand jury. They turn on the video that he did with me. They watch, and the grand jury, the U.S. attorneys, and Courtney watch the entire video, and he stops it like, what about this? Then he asks him a bunch of questions. When they ask him, where's the flash drives? He tells them, I threw them away. Think about this. You told me the FBI took them during the search warrant. That was a lie. Complete lie. So, anyway, so he's lied.
So how do you know about everything that happened during that the grand jury thing?
He's told me all this.
Okay.
And
that's not public record.
No, it's not public record. Most of this is coming from him, but I want to say the New York Times. So the New York Times did an article where they say that Courtney at the grand jury told the grand jury that he had thrown away the flash drives. He'd gotten rid of them. First of all, so this continues to go on, right? He starts going on podcast after podcast. The problem is he starts lying. It turns into I was given the flash drives by a good friend of Kim Porter's. Went to I was mailed the flash drives. Then it turns into I was given the flash drives by a guy that used to date Kim Porter. Then it turned into I was giving it to a guy who was a music producer who has since died. He will not say. So if you go back and say, then it broke into multiple times. Now he's been given a couple flash drives after her death, 3 or 4 of them before her death. And then 10 years prior, he was given the flash drives that contained the book. The problem is she writes in the manuscript up till the day she dies. So how could you have gotten the manuscript 10 years earlier?
Right.
When you read it, she was writing in it all the way up to the day she died. Like, once again, not an accomplished liar. A liar, but not very good at it.
Yeah.
So once he's been on all these other podcasts, it's my belief that the government obviously has watched a bunch of these podcasts and realizes this guy's a complete liar. And so they then go and they subpoena him again. We want you to come back in front of the grand jury. Only this time, I believe his lawyer has probably determined that her client is a liar. Now, these guys were on News Nation. You understand? TMZ interviewed him on the courtroom steps. He's been in everything. It's huge. If you pull up Courtney Burgess right now, Stephen? Sorry. If you pull it up, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's huge. He's never had this much attention in his entire life.
That's wild, dude.
So
this guy.
Who is Courtney Burgess, the Diddy witness who calls him, blah, blah, blah.
Go down, find the New York Times.
Yeah. We're talking about look, it's everywhere.
Burgess.
Times of India.
Yeah.
There's the New York Times too. There's one in the New York Times. There's one in the...
Type in his name and then type in New York Times
type
after.
in New York Times. Right there.
How a tale of Sean Combs sex tapes landed.
Yeah. And this is...
one man's.
Right. This is multiple, by the way. There's multiple... looks like there's multiple articles. There have been multiple. They even mentioned me. They talk about my podcast, him being on my podcast, coming out on my podcast.
That's bizarre, man. You landed yourself right in the middle of this whole scandal, Matthew Cox.
Well, so here's the funny thing. So here's what I believe after just looking into everything. I believe Courtney Burgess, Kim Porter died. I think her name is Cassandra. I forget her last name. She sues Diddy in 2003. No, I'm sorry, 2023. In 2023, she sues Diddy, alleging he would. Remember when Diddy, the tape came out of him beating the girl up and dragging her? That's her.
That's Cassandra.
That's I want to say, I'm sure I've got her name wrong. Cassandra, Cassie. I think it was Cassie. Anyway, she sues him and wants like $40 million. And he comes out immediately and says, this is extortion. It's all lies. She's lying. I've never done anything. It's all bullshit. And then her attorney most likely shows him the tape that they have. He settles the next day. The day after he settles.
Wow.
About 2 months later, CNN leaks the tape.
Surveillance video in the hotel. Yeah.
But that was 2 months after. They release it months after he settled. At this point, this is when I think that Courtney Burgess wrote the memoir as Kim Porter.
Wow.
He then ran around trying to get it published and couldn't. Wade got a hold of him and he said, I got something. When he talked to Chris Todd, he told Chris Todd, I got this memoir, but I also have these sex tapes and CP to get him all excited. Chris Todd's never seen any of this stuff. He's seen some screenshots of some vague screenshots of images that are already on the internet.
Right.
These are not original shots. Anyway, so what I think happened was Courtney wrote the manuscript, said he had these other tapes. He, of course, threw them all away, so you can't prove anything.
Do you think he really had them?
No, I don't think they ever exist. I think all of it was hey, I think I can make some money.
Yeah, it was an opportunity thing.
It was an opportunity to make money off of the back of a dead woman who has kids that loved her, that from all accounts was a decent human being. And you saw an opportunity to make some money off of this poor dead woman who died Not, you don't give a shit about her kids or anything else. You know, and the thing is, he made a small fortune. He and Todd made a chunk of money. And here's the real problem. The real problem is Diddy's legal team, right? Here's what they're going to do. And this is why the government brought Courtney back. They probably wanted to get him to go over these lies that he'd been telling on record so they could indict him and say, you've been lying about these things. They wanted him to lie to the grand jury and prove that he's been lying because you've been saying the same thing, multiple accounts. So you're lying to the grand jury. We're gonna charge you. It's obstruction of justice. It's all kinds of stuff that he's in trouble for. But he didn't go back. They claimed his lawyer wouldn't let him go back in front of the grand jury the second time. She claimed the Fifth Amendment. Just think about it. Well, what are you going to say that's going to incriminate you?
Right.
So Diddy's lawyers are probably going to try and call him to the stand. The government most likely has to charge him. If they don't, here's the problem. Diddy's lawyers can use him to undermine the government's case.
Right.
By saying, one, the only time we've ever heard about sex tapes that everybody thinks exists is when you guys were talking about them. You were lying about them. You were lying about this book. You've told all these different lies. You're a pathological liar. And we think that it's you and people like you that have caused all of these things about Diddy. Because so far, the government has done one thing they haven't done. As much stuff as they've released, they've never once said, we have tapes showing sexual activity with minors or even other celebrities. We have tons of witnesses that will say it.
Yeah.
But we don't have tapes out of all the surveillance equipment that they got. All the video, everything. They've never come forward to say that. They've said everything else. Drugs, guns, what else? Sex trafficking, all these other things. You mentioned,
well, did you see
baby oil?
Did you see what Jamie Foxx came out and said? Remember when Jamie Foxx had that crazy medical scare?
Yes,
and then
he said he poisoned him.
He said he was poisoned. Was it cyanide poisoning?
Something. Yeah, I mean,
can you find what Jamie Foxx said about Diddy and getting poisoned by him?
Yeah, I don't doubt for a second that Diddy's a complete creep. And I don't doubt that he probably may have some videos. I'm saying I don't know that the government has the videos.
But yeah, there was a lot of claims about him poisoning people with the baby oil, right? Like using the baby oil laced with like GHB or something.
Yeah, it could go in your skin or something, right? So it goes into your your pores or something.
Right.
But so I think that they can use Courtney to actually help Diddy's case. When I'm sure Courtney had no intentions of that, but the guy can't keep he
didn't have a plan. He just was like going with the flow.
Well, and he can't seem to keep the lies straight.
Right.
So that's the whole Diddy Courtney Burgess insider scoop. And what's so funny about this is like Courtney, I did a whole thing on it. I put it on my podcast. I did a whole breakdown of the dates and everything. Courtney's still texting me.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, man, if that's true, that's crazy. And then the Jay-Z thing is wild too. They came out and would have that lawyer. It was like this ambulance chaser lawyer. And then Jay-Z released a statement right after, which was good. I think the statement was, that he came out and said something. It would have been way worse if Jay-Z didn't say anything.
Well, here's the thing about Jay-Z is like, yeah, I'm not going to pay you one penny. And, it was hush money. But the truth is, and I interviewed remember the lawyer that I interviewed?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, and we had a whole discussion about this where we talked about like, Jay-Z didn't have a choice but to fight this.
Right.
Initially, that lawsuit includes, it was filed against Diddy. And it said there was a woman and another guy there that were famous. Well, they, of course, the lawyer goes to them and says, hey, we'll try and keep your name out of this if you just settle. I'm sure he goes to his lawyers and says, hey, how can we do this? And his lawyers probably explained, listen, if Diddy doesn't settle the case, your name's coming out no matter what.
Right.
So if you settle this for $1 million or $2 million, your name still comes out.
Right.
So we might as well fight it.
Face the music now.
Yeah. Come out now and say, I won't pay you a penny because it's all lies. Because if you settle it and it comes out that you were the second guy in in these claims and you settled, it makes you look really guilty. So you have to fight it. Or you can just say, hey, I settled because I didn't want my kids to go through this and hear these claims and I was trying to keep my name out of it, but it's all untrue. You could try that. And he probably went, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fight it.
It's crazy too. There's this like strange phenomena on Twitter, on X, and probably just the internet in general, of people who just want all these people to fall.
Yeah.
They want Jay-Z to be guilty and they want to paint him as a scumbag. It's like the worst part of the internet.
Well, it's the same thing when I came out with these videos talking about these tapes and talking about that 950,000 views. 850,000 views. Courtney, 450,000 or 500,000 views. When I come out and I say, hey, listen, there's no way it's possible that it's true. It's not true. This isn't Kim Porter's words. She didn't write this. This is what I believe. What the only thing that makes sense is this, and it sequentially it works. It's the only thing that works. And the people that I'm talking about are consistently lying, and that's absolutely proven. When I say that whole thing, 50,000 views.
Right.
Nobody wants to hear that.
That's the problem with the internet.
Yeah, they want it.
People want the sensational, crazy shit.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Even though, look, Diddy he's clearly got some problems. I mean, he's clearly a weirdo, right? Like I'm not doubting for a second that, and there very well may be tons of tapes. This guy just never had them.
Right.
Right. But like I said,
and who is the lawyer? The lawyer that do you know who the lawyer was who sent Jay-Z tried to extort him for the money?
Well, it's the same. Isn't it the same lawyer that filed Isn't the ambulance chaser guy?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it him?
Find the name of the lawyer.
Is it the same lawyer?
I'm not sure. It was a guy from Texas, I believe.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
The Jay-Z lawsuit. Yeah, sexual lawsuit or sex lawsuit, whatever it is.
Type in Jay-Z lawsuit, and it's also a civil lawsuit because the statute of limitations is up. Right? It was like in the 90s.
Yeah, criminal. It's civil.
Okay, just go up. Right there. Stop. Okay. Rapper 50 Cent mocked music mogul Jay-Z on social media after he was named in the sexual lawsuit alongside 50 Cent's longtime rival Sean Diddy Combs months after he reportedly questioned Jay-Z, who has denied claims against him. All right, keep going, see if we can find the lawyer's name. Okay. Mocked. Rock Nation is his company. What is the lawyer's name? Maybe you can find the letter. Maybe Tony Busby. That's his name.
Okay, that's
Tony Busby.
That's the same guy that's got like 100 different claimants against Diddy. It's the same one.
Okay. Let's look up Tony Busby. Yeah, because Jay-Z was saying
Jay-Z's lawyers claim Tony Busby pressured a client to blah blah blah.
So show us. Can Jay-Z show evidence of Tony Busby trying to get the money out of him and extort him for the money?
Well, first of all, it's not extortion. You're writing a letter saying you're named. You're the person that is unnamed, the unnamed person in this lawsuit. Do you want to settle or do you want us to go ahead and make it public? That's not extortion.
It's not.
That's just the law. That's just
okay.
That's like.
Can you find Jay-Z's response? Find Jay-Z's response to Diddy. So Jay-Z basically, I guess he painted it as like trying to be extorted by this ambulance chaser lawyer for a bunch of money.
They always do. That's the same thing.
That's what they do.
Was it Garth Brooks when he's been sued a couple months ago? He got sued by the chick that did his makeup said that he assaulted her, he raped her. Who? Garth Brooks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Same thing. He came out. His response was, "This is extortion. They were trying to extort me. I won't pay any money for extortion."
Yeah.
They all say that. That's what
Steve, it's going to be like a screenshot of an Instagram post or something with a bunch of text on it. It's not going to be. You're going to see. It's going to be a screenshot from social media of something Jay-Z said. It's going to be in one of those articles for sure. Okay. Go up. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt. See, he's called blackmail. Called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one.
He says that because he knows the statute of limitations is up.
It has to be civil, right?
Yeah, their only recourse is civil.
Okay, got it. So whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have not done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these kinds of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human being, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I am more than prepared to deal with your type and your claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither valor nor dignity. The only heartbreaker for me, my family, my wife, and I will have to sit with our children, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure that at such a young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand an inexplicable degree of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the true victims of this world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all the celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games, and we have a very strict code of honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe this idiotic claim you have levied against me that, if not, the seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. What a Mr. Busby. It's a good response. I mean, if he's innocent.
Here's the
people
problem.
want it to be true.
They want it to be true.
So many people do. If you read the comments on Twitter, it's unfathomable the fucking hatred people have for these people when there's no evidence. If he's guilty, like I said, throw him away, lock him up, and fucking throw away the key forever.
Well, here's the thing: is that look, you can pretty much sue anybody, but if this chick. She was 13 years old when this happened, by the way. If she doesn't have some proof that you were even there, this gets thrown out.
Yeah, how do you have proof?
Right. Well, and you don't know what these people are holding back. I'll tell you right now.
What is it, 25 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, she's like 37. She was 13, and I think she's 37 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. I'm not great with math.
Yeah,
but it was a long time ago. So
she's 37. So 37 minus 13.
Yeah. So.
Or 37 minus 13.
Right. So it was like, whatever, 24 years ago.
Yeah, 24 years ago.
So, here's the thing. I don't know. You know what the story is?
Roughly. Not really.
Okay. Well, anyway, that the point is that she's going to have to prove somehow. I'll give you an example. Busby probably feels like he's got something. And I'll give you an example. Look at the Diddy when Cassie filed that lawsuit. They come to him, they file it. Diddy's like, go fuck yourself. You ain't got shit. Here's a video. And he goes, how much? Okay. The fact that he comes out with his little letter and settles so quickly means that they held something. And this is very common. You file something. You don't tell them everything because you want them to do something like this. And then they go, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. You ain't. And they go, what about this? And they go, listen, let's talk about this. Like, can we arrange? Right.
God.
Right. So whatever. So he does this whole thing thinking you don't have anything. I don't know who this person is. Never been around this person. Don't know anything about it. You ain't got nothing on me. I've never done anything. I'm going to fight you tooth and nail. And, they'll wait for him to make some responses. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You're
a liar. I don't know who this was. Was it at the party? And then you find out, boom, there's pictures of the two of them, of all three of these people. This little girl who's 13 with these two guys. She's pictures with her and the chauffeur. She's in the hotel room. You see what I'm saying? Suddenly it's like, they wait for him to bury themselves. And or maybe the chauffeur that helped get her in to the after party, maybe he comes forward. Maybe he's like, no, this whole thing happened. I was actually upstairs when they took her in the room. Yeah. I don't know what happened in the room, but she was definitely there and they went in the room.
So you think Busby wouldn't have done this?
I think he's got something.
Unless he had something tangible.
Yeah, I feel like he's got something. Because if it's something like, well, this is what she said. Does she have it?
Right. Bless you.
Does she have
bless you?
The judge is going to go, okay, I've read the complaint. What do you have that proves any of this is true? Oh, I have a sworn statement from my client. No. That's not going to be enough. What else? Her parents will talk about when they remember picking her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not, what else? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have something. If he's got nothing, then that's going to be thrown away right away. Thrown out right away.
I hope all my childhood heroes don't just start falling like dominoes, bro. Now, like, LeBron's going to be next. LeBron's like, you saw the video, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Now everyone on the internet is like going after LeBron, like, LeBron, tell us the truth, bitch.
Look at all these people that are fleeing the country. They're like leaving.
About what?
A lot of them are like, it's Trump. It's this.
Are people really leaving?
Oh yeah, like Ellen DeGeneres, Tom Hanks. Like you got all these idiots that that are I'm not staying here because we'll kick rocks. And all of this is like I just noticed the trees are swaying.
Yeah, it's great.
The one
It's
tree
because
is
it's real,
swaying.
bro. That's the window. We're in a time machine in Christmas time in 1800. In the middle of the woods in Ontario.
Leonardo DiCaprio like left for some vacation. It's been months you've been gone, bro.
He's been gone.
I think, that's what I heard. You could look that up.
Has he really been fucking out of the country?
Who else left? Like there's a whole slew of people that have left. That's like these are very timely vacations and they're extensive vacations.
Well, LeBron just took a leave from the Lakers.
Yeah, like what do you?
He plays for the Lakers and he just went on leave. What does it say? Did Leonardo DiCaprio flee the country at the aftermath? It's going to say no, of course, debunked. Yeah, these.
Is it debunked or is it what?
There are multiple mentions of Leonardo left viral Instagram post to break he took from acting in 2013. This is not about that, I don't think. No. This is 2013. Yeah. What's that say? Breaking news, Leonardo joins a wave of celebrity departures, saying that this is no longer my America. Keep scrolling. And that has what? Scroll up. How many shares does that tweet have? Nope. 228 reshares, 48,000 views. Yeah, that's just Diddy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know. It's hard to know what the fuck is real, dude. Because this shit's so curated. And Instagram and all these platforms will label it as misinformation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know whether that's the actual celebrity's team going out and saying that.
Right.
Or has that really been debunked?
Yeah. But, this whole social media censorship thing, a lot of people are optimistic that it's going to stop in the next year after Trump gets in, saying that they're going to kind of like do a bunker bust of these platforms of like YouTube and Google, bust them up and try to like break up the monopoly so they don't have so much. But the problem is like Google was literally funded, incubated, and curated by the intelligence agencies. Like if you go back and search and if you like do your I've read this incredible background article where this guy did this long form investigative piece on Sergey Brin and Larry Page when they were creating Google from their I think it was from Stanford, right? And they were being visited during the whole time they were developing Google and the PageRank system and all of that. They were being visited by two members of the CIA, and they were like funded by DARPA, the CIA, and the NSA. All their money came from these agencies to create it, and like the actual PageRank system was a part of DARPA. That's like DARPA technology. So like to say that they've infiltrated these websites is not even doing it justice. That these Google and YouTube and all this stuff was funded and incubated by the intelligence agency. So it is like their tool, right?
You want to hear something?
Huh?
Guess whose sentence was commuted? You know how Biden commuted 1,500 people's federal sentences yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think was among them?
I'm sure there's a laundry list. Tell me.
Well, you know one of them.
I know one of them personally?
You've talked to him on the phone.
Deveroli.
No, Frank Amadeo.
What?
Yeah.
Frank Amadeo was pardoned by Biden?
Not pardoned, commuted.
What's the difference?
So he had like 7 or 8 years to do on an ankle monitor where he's basically in the halfway house. He has to go in every week. He has to do piss tests. They're followed. Remember, they could throw you back in prison.
Yeah.
So they said, you know what? We're commuting your sentence. You're just on probation now. So he's got like, I think 2 or 3 years or three or 4 years of probation.
So he's not on an ankle monitor anymore?
Which means he could probably do your podcast.
Oh, wow. Have you talked to him lately?
No.
Should we call him right now?
I'm not calling him.
Wow. I can't believe he got commuted. He must have been writing a lot of letters, huh?
Who knows what he had on Biden? No, check it out. No, what they did was everybody that was out on an ankle monitor, right? Biden commuted their sentence.
Yeah.
So anybody who had gotten like the CARES Act or had been released and they were on an ankle monitor, and these are the guys that they're like, we don't know what to do with them, right? He said, you know what, I'm just going to commute their sentence and put them on probation.
But who really commuted their sentence? Because Biden didn't really do shit.
Well, somebody wrote it up for him.
Somebody probably has to remind him every day that he wakes up that he's still the president of the country.
He probably has moments of lucidity.
You think?
So, yeah, well, let me tell you. So I could have conversations with my mom, and they call it I want to say they have called the twilight hours.
Sundowners.
Right. So as the sun's going down, every once in a while, my mother would call me. And so I could have had breakfast with her that morning. And she would call me up and say, Matthew, come get me. I'm in the hospital. And I'd be like, what? What's wrong, Mom? And, and she'd say, I'm in the hospital. Your father hit me. I'm in the hospital. It's like, what? Well, my father's been dead for, 7 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you realize like, oh, and she had dementia.
Right.
But I had, I haven't seen your sister in weeks. I'm like, have you called Helen? I haven't seen her in weeks. She doesn't care about me. And it's like, no, like, oh, okay, Mom. You don't want to argue with them. Right. So I'm saying, I'm sure that, I don't know if he's to that, because listen, the next morning I show up for breakfast. Hey, Mom, how are you? How are you? I love you. How you doing? Perfectly. Doesn't remember the night before. Perfectly fine. Can tell me what's going on CNN and Fox News and have a normal conversation, talk about what she's doing that day. And you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Bro. So I'm sure he has moments or times of the day when he's better, when he's good, and times when he's bad, It's like
everyone's mad about him pardoning his son.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about pardoning him. What I care about is that you lied about it the whole time. You knew the whole time. I mean, there's so many other things you could be upset about. That's a minor one. The fact that he's never been found guilty of anything. The fact that they haven't properly been able to impeach, and the fact that he I'm going to send money to Ukraine. I'm going to have them give me money to my son. My son's going to be indicted, and I'm going to fucking pardon him.
Yes. Fucking imagine when Biden was the vice president, just randomly running in a Hunter in Ukraine on the loose. Just Hunter on the loose, on crack in Ukraine when Biden's the vice president. Can you imagine the fucking shit he's trying to pull using his dad as the vice president?
Of course. Yeah, definitely peddling. Yeah, definitely.
You better have Rock in my hotel room in 2. Do you know who the fuck I will have you murdered unless you have a fucking 8-ball in my hotel room in 2 hours. Oh God. I mean, Tim Dillon did the best bit on his podcast the other day, talking about Hunter. Like, nobody's at their best when they're on crack in the Ukraine with holding a gun to a hooker's head. Right? Don't judge people in that moment. He's your last son, your last crackhead son. Like, let him off. All these people that are getting mad at him, they're the people that are about get behind family values. Family values are what matter. Well, if you give a shit about family values, let this man pardon his last crackhead son. His first son died of brain cancer from the burn pits in the war. Now he's got one son left, right? This is his last son, Hunter, who was a crackhead who did coke in the White House. He's your son.
Yeah. I understand. The problem is, could you imagine being somebody right now who's doing time for the exact same things that he got pardoned for?
Oh, yeah. But
you're sitting there doing 5 years or 8 years or 7 years.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
And you're sitting there going, wow,
That's tough.
this is not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The world's not fair.
no, it's not fair. It's fine. But I mean, you know, there's I think there's just corruption at every level. It's just different degrees of it.
Right.
You know, I love that Trump's going to be our first felon president. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. Julian scared the shit out of me with the drone stuff. I really hope Trump shows up to that football game tomorrow.
Oh, stop it.
If he doesn't show up, we might have
What
to
does
start.
that mean? What if he doesn't show up? What
If
does
he
it
doesn't
mean?
show up to the football game, that means he got the fuck out of Dodge and he changed his schedule and he's not there. Where's the game? Where's the Army-Navy game?
But what does it mean?
Find out where the Army-Navy game is tomorrow.
What does that mean is going to happen? What's Julian's prediction if that happens?
He won't tell me. He's being elusive. He's keeping it a secret. It's his journalistic integrity that he can't tell me what the fuck is going to happen. But something on the East Coast is going to happen and it's going to be bad and we have to start driving west. Where? Maryland. Landover, Maryland. And Maryland is on the East Coast last time I checked, which is close to Jersey, I think. So hopefully everything will be fine and we have nothing to worry about and we don't have to start driving to
You want to hear some
Colorado.
What's funny
What's funny?
is, so did you ever hear of the Kids for Cash judge?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he was in the book, right? In the Deverell, the book I wrote.
Yeah.
So,
You talked to the person in this case, right?
yeah, I was the judge. I mean, the judge that helped with the lawsuit. His sentence was commuted.
No.
Oh, listen, there's guys that
Why would they do that?
there's sex offenders sentences that he commuted.
Why?
Biden. I mean, I think it was a blanket immunity. He said, look, everybody that's currently out on the CARES Act or whatever it was, then just do it. He probably didn't put a lot of thought into it. You know, nobody in the White House is putting a lot of thought into anything.
Into anything, right? Yeah.
So-
It's just so much incompetence at every, including this whole drone fucking fiasco.
But yeah, he was one of the judge. And listen, you know, like I've talked to him, you know, several times. You know, he was out on ankle monitor just like Frank commuted. So nice
It's
guy.
going to be interesting to see what happens when Trump gets in. He said he's going to release Ross Ulbricht, right? He said he's going to do that. Which needs to be done.
I think he's going to shake some shit up like it's never been before. Like you've seen his appointments. Like these are not go with the flow kind of people. These are not bureaucratic, you know, that people that really understand the bureaucracy and are willing to work within it.
Yeah.
These are guys that are, you know, they're pulling out hatchets to
Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are swamp creatures.
Yeah.
Right? Some of them are still swamp creatures, but some of them are good. Like the guy Kash Patel seems like he's going to shake some shit up. Bobby Kennedy.
Elon Musk.
Let's
Jump in a plane, fly across the country, and pull the fucking plugs on the servers. You know, that kind of. Let's fire 80% of staff. You know, let's gonna cut the. They're gonna cut some shit.
Yeah, I think people rightly so are skeptical about like what's going to be the difference between his campaign and what actually gets done and what he actually does when he gets into the fucking White House.
Yeah, well, you know, the bureaucracy starts taking over, where it's like, hey, we're going to do this. Well, okay, we can do that, but we have to do this and this and this and what you thought you were going to get done in a week. 6 months later, you're still arguing.
He said he's going to release the Kennedy files day one, and then he's going to free Ross Ulbricht.
Okay.
Oh, I hope those two things happen. And he said, you know, the Kennedy thing. I think what did he say about that? He said he goes, if you saw what I saw,
right? I saw that on Rogan.
You wouldn't want to say it either,
because what? Supposedly some of these people are still alive.
Yeah, 99% of them are dead. There's like one or two that are still alive,
right? And you know the thing is, look, if you're saying you could always pardon the people that you think this person, I don't want him to have to go through anything. It's been too long, you know, and he was following orders, whatever. But these 4 people are still alive. Then I'm going to pardon them and I'm going to release it. So fine, you've just guaranteed that those guys are going to be okay. Like, you know, it's been a long time. They're not the same people, and they were young and following orders. Like, was it horrific?
Exactly.
Yes, but you know,
yes.
When you've got a gun to your head and you're being told to do something, this is what I'm ordering you to do.
Right.
And it may be horrible, but I'm about to be shot.
Right.
So I have to kind of go through it.
Of course.
And I'm not saying that's what the case was, but if you're a part of the CIA and you're in a group of guys and you're being told this is what we're going to do, it's kind of like, I was just given a very secretive order. And if I say, hey, I'm not going through with that
you're done.
They're about to kill the president. They'll kill me.
They're going to cut you. Yeah.
Right. So it's like I have to go through with this. So am I gonna go ahead and drive this guy up to the grassy knoll and let him get out and
am
take
I
a
going to
shot?
be the guy who blows the whistle on all this and exposes all this?
Right.
And,
Like if they can kill the president, they're going to kill me. Like I got 2 kids and a wife. I'm going through with it. And now guess what? 50 years later, I'm still alive. You know? And Trump's like, this guy rose through the ranks. He's retired. He's 80 years old. You know, I hate to release this stuff. It's going to make his life miserable. What if they come and arrest him? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to pardon him. And there's 4 other guys. I'm going to pardon them. And I'm going to release it because it's time that the public knows the truth of what this country is, you know, is really like behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So, and really doing something like that, if that's really the case, and I don't know what the case is, if that's really the case, like, there are people like my mother and my father who made all the right decisions, who were raised during the Depression era, who went to college, who, you know, had children, who worked the system, who were, you know, lower middle class and reached the goal or reached the stratus of upper middle class, who did everything right despite the problems they may have had as just human beings, who 100% believed in this country and believed everything they saw on the nightly news. My father didn't, as far as I know, ever question what Dan Rather said happened. And then you find out what really, hey, there really are UFOs. There really are this. There really is this. Guess what? The CIA killed Kennedy. Could you imagine? Like, those people that are in their 70s and 80s that never questioned anything who right now think this generation is insane. They would be like, just like
They probably wouldn't believe it though.
I mean, if you had Trump come out and I can't imagine
if he released the documents. Yeah.
Yeah, like you see the documents that like this is what really happened. It would be like, you know, guess what? Oh, and by the way, we didn't land on the moon.
That'll never happen.
I know. We landed on the news.
Yeah.
But I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
But the point is could you imagine being that person? It's just like,
yeah, it's got to be tough.
You'd be like,
and I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that just get all of their information from CNN.
And that would just undermine your belief system in your entire life. Like, I don't know, you wouldn't know what to believe anymore at that point.
Right.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Dying to see what because listen, something's, I don't know.
What's going to happen? Do you know how the process works with the confirmations? The people in his cabinet, they have to get confirmed. And like, I know that, so Bobby Kennedy is one of the big ones, going to be the head of the HHS, right? And he has to be confirmed by a certain date. And that there's like a process of him getting confirmed to that position. Do you know how that works?
No, but I mean, I don't know how you could not confirm these guys. Like, I mean, none of them are half as whacked out as Biden's, appointees, right? Like you've got that nut job who ran the military, what was the other one that was dressed up like a woman?
Yeah.
That was like, I mean, they were just insane. They were all appointed. Like, and you've got and most of this is made up of Congress.
Can you find out when Kennedy is supposed to get how the confirmations of the cabinet members works, or like find out when does Kennedy get confirmed?
Bro, there's so many Republicans in Congress right now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, how is it not going to be possible? The problem is a lot of these guys, they probably just don't want to go through the scrutiny. You know, like you're sitting there, you have to answer all these questions. They're yelling at you. They're, it's, they're bringing up this, they're bringing up any rumor that comes up. You're like, what are you talking? You're bringing up stuff like, I was never convicted of that. That's a rumor. That's something my ex-wife said, like, what are you talking about?
I still can't believe Frank got pardoned. That's insane.
Yeah. Commutation is not pardoned.
Oh, commutation, whatever.
Right. Pardon would be like,
he walks free.
He walks free and he's no longer a felon.
Yeah.
Like they eliminate the whole thing. Like, boom, if you searched him up, nothing would come up. Mm-hmm. They'd have to say he was basically expunged. Like, you're no longer a felon.
Yeah. 10 years from now, if Neuralink comes out and like people are getting it, like CEOs are getting it, of like healthcare companies and like big tech companies, they're getting these Neuralinks in there because they're rich and they can afford them, and it helps them connect better to the internet, helps them in like negotiation, pull shit off the internet that helps them like beat somebody in a negotiation or a lawsuit or something like that, or it just helps you thrive, right? And it can just give you an advantage. Do you think you would do it? Or if like you're driving your car and you could be like, where am I going?
I mean, 65 years old 10 years from now. Be lucky to be around. I'm not going to have you drilling holes in my head. Like, is this something that they're going to drill a hole in your head and stick this thing in?
Or is it because of the age? What if they said that it could get rid of dementia? It could make you think like you thought when you were 35 years old, give you,
Yeah, probably sign me up. Like, look, I mean, I don't want to be the first guy.
No. I'm saying they've already done the first guy. I'm saying now like thousands of people have them. Like,
right.
You can pay $100,000 and get it done. And Matt Cox, you're going to be rich in 15 years, and you can afford $100,000 for a Neuralink, and it'll make you feel younger. It'll make you think quicker.
Yeah, I'd probably do it.
You think you would?
Yeah, because let's face it, I don't have much life left. If I can take a chance at having a better quality of life for the remainder of it, yeah, I'd do it. Absolutely. Why, you wouldn't do it? They're going to be listening to you, what you're thinking, know everything,
that's
downloading it.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Who gets control of it?
Listen, I interviewed a guy about cryptocurrency yesterday, and yeah, it was.
What'd he say?
He's taught. The stuff he was saying was like, how, like, okay, I get moving away from the fiat system, but the way he was talking about laws and things that have already been passed, like it's already going to happen. Like the World Bank has already decided we'll be off the fiat system by 2025. Like he had all these things, and it was just like, why have I not heard that? And he's like, I don't know. You can look it up. And he has like the statutes. He has the things. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well, so you're telling me we're going to be off cash in a year? He's like, no, it'll be phased out over a few years, but we'll be off.
Saying we're going to be on a CBDC, centralized digital currency controlled by the United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, so I mean, first of all, he knows it inside and out. He works for a company that is completely involved in it.
Well, I mean, China's already doing this,
right? Well, the other thing that was funny was he was like, yeah, he's like, now there are some states may end up, kind of, bucking, like being like they're not interested. He's like, for instance, he's like, right now, Florida's already coming up with their own currency, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking? Bro, boom. He's like, oh yeah, pulls it up, sends me the information. I'm like, Florida's talking about coming up with their own currency to go on the gold standard. I was the same way. I was like, what?
Really?
They were like, they're looking into it. Bro, I was shocked. Like the stuff he was,
dude.
And I was like, how is this not? He's like, well, it's not, because it was very Danny Jones, just where this is what's happening. They're just not telling you. Like, of course, the media doesn't cover it.
Well, there is some of that. It's not everything, but there definitely is some of that.
Yeah, but it's definitely scary.
Yeah,
it's definitely scary.
It's terrifying. That's why you need to buy a shitload of Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Oh.
Breaking. The state of Florida is considering a study to explore using gold and silver as currency, potentially bypassing the Federal Reserve System.
And literally, it's an amendment. There's an amendment that says the states can do it. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's amendment, whatever, such and such under this, that they're allowed to, each state could actually come up with its own currency.
Interesting.
Like, the fuck is that? That was one of the things they fought the Civil War over.
Yeah.
Was that they wanted to nationalize currency. He was like, yeah, I know, but if certain things happen, then they're allowed to do it, and they're looking into doing it. And it's like,
yeah.
I was like, well, I've never heard this.
Right.
Yeah. He had a ton of stuff. This was an interesting guy. Guy. It was all about digital assets and NFTs and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and how, way above my pay grade. Like,
this is from 2022. Yeah. You can't find anything recent about. No, he's not talking about a digital currency. He's just saying Florida currency based on gold and silver.
Right, and this was from X. This was from X, so it had to be recent. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. 2 days ago, Fox. Could gold and silver become a currency in Florida? CFO Petronas supports the move. Wow.
Yeah.
Go down. Precious metals like gold and silver are not legal tender under current Florida law. If the state's chief financial officer gets his way, however, that could change. Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis, who's also running for a vacant seat in Congress, is launching a study to help figure out how gold and silver could be used to buy goods and services in the state.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah. Just accept Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know. Like, why go back to a system that we already phased out?
Because
Yeah.
Bitcoin isn't backed by anything. This is backed by gold.
Bitcoin is, there's a finite amount. There's only 21 million Bitcoins to be made, that they're going to be created ever. And it's like, I mean, I don't know.
I can't make anything out of Bitcoin.
What is
I can make
Bitcoin
stuff out of
backed
gold.
by? What, I don't know. Like, what is, like, that means
It's not
not backed by anything. It's just the fact that you can't make more of it.
Right.
Bitcoin, unlike traditional fiat currency, is not backed by physical commodities like gold or silver, nor by the promise of a government or central bank. Bitcoin's value comes from the widespread trust in its security, scarcity, and predictability. Right. So it's so valuable because it cannot be controlled by anything, and there's only a specific amount of it. And it's freedom. It's basically monetary freedom. It's a way to escape all centralized institutions that exist.
But I can sell gold.
You can also sell Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I can make stuff out of gold. And it's
Who gives a shit? You can sell Bitcoin. I can go online right now and sell all my Bitcoin for whatever it's worth. I can sell, if I have one Bitcoin, I can sell it for $101,000 right now, instantly. In 1 second, I can transfer it into cash. It's not like it's some. Have you ever bought crypto?
No,
Okay.
not buying crypto.
You're not buying crypto. That's a mistake.
No. I mean, there are people
You gotta buy
that
some
have,
crypto, bro.
No, I'm not buying crypto.
Come on.
I'll buy gold. I can
It's gonna have
physically
gold
touch
too.
it.
But you keep your crypto backed up on this cold storage wallet. It's like a hard drive you keep it on, so it's not on the internet, and it's like you keep it in a safe or a safe deposit box or whatever, and no one can touch it. It can't be hacked or anything.
I hear you. You should talk to this guy. You guys would have a ton to talk about. You could talk for hours. You've been a part of a bunch of documentaries and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, actually, there's like a 2.5 hour documentary on him I could send you.
Really?
Not him, but he was basically throughout the entire documentary.
Right.
It's all about the SEC suing who they sued like a couple of years ago. They sued somebody saying that it's a whole conspiracy. It's got a whole conspiracy behind Ethereum and the government, and how they sued this other company to try and get because this company was doing really well, and it was going to take over Ethereum and Bitcoin. It was going to be the number one crypto. And so what happens is a bunch of people in the government who were invested into Ethereum end up convincing the SEC to sue this company. And as soon as they sue them, knowing they're going to lose the lawsuit, but it will stop them from moving forward, they immediately all like step down from their positions and take other positions in private companies that are all associated with crypto. And this company spends the next 2 years and like $500 million fighting the lawsuit. And they just recently, like literally a few weeks ago, won the lawsuit. But now he thinks they'll come back. But of course, Ethereum has been running wild since this lawsuit. But you're telling me Ethereum isn't not a commodity, but whatever. It isn't whatever they sued him for. But they're saying that this coin is, and it's the same thing. That they just filed it to cripple the company. And it was a whole thing. I mean, it was super interesting. It's just, like I said, it's above my pay grade because I don't really know.
Speaking of lawsuits, you know who Billy Carson is?
Yes, he's being sued. I only saw it on.
He's the one suing.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's trying to get some stuff taken down because he ended up looking bad in a debate or something.
Yeah. So now he's suing, giving people, serving them cease and desist letters at their doorsteps, and at 2 a.m. It's on video on the guy's Ring doorbell. And he admitted on a live stream video, that he was doing it. He said this on his own fucking video. He goes, "I'm just doing this to make them spend money because I know they can't afford to fight me in the lawsuit." And if you say that from lawyer people I've talked to, is that you can't admit that. If you admit that, your shit gets thrown out.
Yeah. Why did he do so badly during the debate?
Because he was debating a guy who actually has a PhD in the Bible.
Right.
And Billy
actually has all the facts.
Billy likes to make a lot of big claims, big sensational claims about the past and about ancient history and ancient civilizations and aliens and Anunnaki and all this. He's got a lot of books. He makes a fuckload of money. And he basically got on this debate, I think a lot of it unprepared. And this guy was just like laying down like hard facts, giving him like asking him legitimate questions. And Billy kind of was like, oh, he's like on his phone, kind of like scrambling what to find. And like, it made Billy look bad and really uninformed compared to this guy. And it's not a good look, man, because Billy makes a lot of money.
But I don't think he'll lose a ton of people. Like the people want to believe.
I don't think he will, yeah.
Right?
I think you're right about that.
And then doing the lawsuit just makes you look bad. It makes you look desperate.
Yeah.
Some people are going to follow you just no matter what. They like you. They believe in you. They believe in what you're saying. And maybe if it's not 100% accurate or you're making some assumptions, they're still going to follow you because they want to, like we talked about, they want to believe this.
Yeah. People are going to want to defend him. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of people who want to see him fall just like, everyone else.
So he takes a 20% hit and he makes up for it. I don't think
it'll affect him that much. It might be a little bump in the road, but he's going to still keep doing what he's doing. It's not going to change.
The lawsuit is that's where it starts looking bad.
Yeah. Well, he publicly admitted he sued them just to fucking make them spend money.
Right.
Like, that's not good. That was not a good idea. But we'll see. What else do you want to talk about?
Nothing. I mean, what are we doing? Listen. So, the guy that was, how Deveroli at the real story, not the movie. At the end, how Deveroli goes to Night Armament, and Night Armament convinces him to come to Orlando.
Yes.
And the other guy brings, or the ATF agent brings a Glock and gives it to Deveroli, and Deveroli takes it and
then he arrests him.
Yeah, and he arrests him
handcuffs him.
Well, remember that they have Deveroli. He looks at the Glock and everything. Yeah. He checks out the weapons, gives it back to the guy, tells the guy, look, the guy's like, look, I brought the weapons. Can you go buy the ammunition? And Deveroli says, yeah, okay, fine. He's like, and Deveroli says, look, I can't buy ammunition, but I'll have my guy buy it.
Yeah.
That guy's name is like Dejour or something. I forget his name. He's I think he's Serbian, or maybe he's from the. Anyway, the point is that he was one of the guys that was with Deveroli from pretty much the beginning. I talked to him the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
About what?
He, after the whole Deveroli debacle, he went back to Serbia for 7 years, and he just got back about 11 months ago, and about a month and a half ago found out about the book that I wrote.
Hand Grenade?
Yeah. And no, not Hand Grenade, about Once a Gun Runner. And read the book and contacted me and said, listen, man, a lot of what Deveroli said isn't true, and I was there the whole time, and this and this and this, and I'd love to talk to you about it. And so we talked on the phone for 30, 45 minutes. And I said, look, you got to come on the podcast. Like, we'll go through it piece by piece. And he said,
carrying the torch, Matt Cox.
Absolutely.
I love to see it.
And he said, he was like, absolutely. So he's supposed to, I think we're going to do it. I think he was saying like he's in Miami, like the first of the year, I think we're supposed to do it. He said he's going to get back to me. He had to talk to some people. And
beautiful.
Yeah. He's worried about his English, but his English was good. Like, he's like, oh, I want to make sure that I sound
So this guy did business with Deveroli for a long time.
Yeah, like several of the companies, when Deveroli's like on at the ankle monitor, he's out on, like, he's got like 3 or 4 companies in this guy's name that are buying stuff. Like, So this guy's like, he knows where all the
Should
bodies
we get
are
an
buried.
interview with him?
I mean, I'm trying to get an interview.
No, I mean for your sizzle.
For our sizzle, I thought.
Yeah, for ours.
Okay.
The sizzle I'm paying for.
Yeah. The one that I wrote, the whole book.
You wrote it. I'm filming it and paying for it.
Oh my God.
It's okay. It's all right. It's an equal effort on both of our parts.
I agree.
Yes.
So Well, I don't know. I thought I'd mention it because I don't think for the sizzle. I think let's get the sizzle out there. But he's one more person that we can interview for if we can get to that point where we say, okay, there's multiple people.
Yeah.
That the more people you have, the more chance that you can go in and say, look, we can interview this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and these 4 guys for this. Like,
yeah.
I think it becomes like, okay, it's not a 2-hour doc now. Now it's a 3-part doc.
Right.
45 minutes a piece or whatever.
Fascinating.
Yeah. This guy's he's super, I don't know why he was like, I'm worried about he kept saying he was worried about his accent. He spoke great.
People like those kinds of accents. What's it? He's
he's
Serbian?
I think it was Serbia, Herzegovina. Is that what? No. So remember the Serbian Balkan?
Yeah. So like a Beck Lover accent. No,
I don't know. Anyway, no.
Those accents do well.
Yeah,
British doesn't do well.
Yeah,
at least on my podcast.
I was on Sean Atwood the other day.
Oh yeah, how's he? Oh well, I take that back. He's probably one of my biggest podcasts ever.
Yeah,
I was on
I know.
Zoom though during the pandemic.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
I mean, he's killing it. He's doing 5 hours a day of lives about Diddy and
oh my god,
and an hour of just a regular podcast. This guy's
wow.
I think he's
like you. He's a machine.
Is he at 1 million yet?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's doing it every day. Well, I think it's during the week.
Yeah,
it's insane. Same thing. He had Courtney Burgess on. He had all the players on. Yeah, he had all the players.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's kicking ass.
How many more podcasts you got to do this week?
I got one tomorrow, and then I'm going to LA on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I come back Wednesday, and then Thursday.
Christmas. What are you guys doing for Christmas?
I think Jess is.
What's Santa gonna bring you?
I don't want anything. I feel like I have, or don't you feel like I have everything?
Yeah.
Like I'm a horrible person to buy for. Like, I don't want, and then you can't say, no, don't get me anything because they want to buy you something. So yeah, I don't want anything.
I know how.
But I want very little too. Like I got Jess a truck.
Did you?
Yeah.
What kind of truck?
It's out there.
250?
It's a Tacoma with it's like a king cab type.
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome. But she loves that.
Yeah, it's 2024.
Wow, Matt Cox.
Bro, listen, she was. Oh, are you kidding me? Listen,
did you pay cash?
Listen, we're looking at places like when it was like, look, because I don't have a vehicle, so we're sitting there going, hey, I'm saying, look, well, what about this vehicle? What about this one? Like we're looking at SUVs, and she's like, yeah, that's okay, that's good, and they're all vehicles around 60, 70,000, right?
Yeah.
Like I figure, like get a nice vehicle. Like we only have one.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and she's like, yeah. She's like, you know what? Honestly, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, I really like Tacomas, and she's like, I really would like. And I was like, well, what? So I don't know anything about. I'm like,
Tacomas are fucking great. I love Tacomas.
But I'm like, a truck, and she's like, yeah, but we could get like the one with the. So I'm like, okay, and so she starts looking, and we start looking, and she finds one. She's like this is what I want, and I see $38,000. It was like 40 that ran, and I thought,
done.
Let's go right now. Absolutely. Like I'm looking at something 60, 70,000. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And she's like, no, that's what I want. Like she's not looking at the I that we're looking. I don't think she realized the disparity.
Right.
And listen, we bought it that night.
Did you really?
Drove straight to the dealership.
Wow.
Come write it up. Let's do this.
Matt Cox.
But she
living
loves
large, baby. That's great.
Listen, she
what
loves
a great feeling to buy your wife a new car.
She listen. The next day, washed it. That night, sat in the car for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just it was just, so cute, bro. Like
best,
she's never had.
It's better than buying yourself a new car.
Oh, absolutely. I could care less. I've had tons of new cars. I'm like, yeah, all right, it's great.
Yeah. You had a Ferrari in the 90s. You're good.
So, but yeah, she like sits in it, washed it. 3 days later, washed it again. Knows what everything does. She's reading the manuals. Like I've never done that in my life. Never. I don't know what half the shit does.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's beautiful.
It was pretty cool. I drove it here.
I got to check it out.
Huh.
Cool. Well, thanks again. Check out Matt Cox's YouTube channel, Inside True Crime, in Espanol.
Honestly,
on TikTok.
I'll be honest with you. There's better stuff. There's some great. I mean, honestly, like you guys, seriously, like there's some great stuff on Netflix. Apple has a series called Silo. You know, that's something you should check out.
Yeah.
You could do better than Inside Truth.
If you've made it this far, God bless you.
Yeah. This is a struggle. This was a struggle.
You're a real one if you made it this far.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you, Matt Cox. Thanks. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Nice.